How about that?
And we'll just sit in the platform for a bit. We're live, apparently.
We're live.
Beep, beep.
Alright. I think just to piss off Nathan, Nathan is watching the live stream saying he called that we're being late. I only started it early just to piss him off. That's the only reason I started it early. So,
boy.
Nathan.
Sucks to be you.
Yeah, don't forget to mute your live streams if you're watching.
I'm not watching because I don't watch rubbish.
Fuck you, Matt.
Ooh.
Ouch.
Alright,
Come on.
For the people watching the live stream, can you just confirm that you can hear me and that you can hear the lads on Discord?
I can hear nothing.
Sexual
What?
chocolate, apparently. Okay.
What? Whoever said that should be banned immediately.
I like sexual chocolate.
You should be banned
Your
immediately.
whole choking on the ship thing. In fact, let's not go there again.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Landia Dog and Pennyog route. Tonight I'm joined by James Ellison, Matthew Edmondson, and Sam.
Hello.
He just gets Sam. He
Stevenson.
doesn't get anything.
Stevenson.
He gets Sam.
I just needed to have a moment
just
to remember who I'm speaking to. Sorry.
You need a moment a
we are
lot
going to
of the
drive the
You know
new
what, I am.
released Bossman Games LMS 6P Rebuilt Royal Scot, otherwise known as LMS Rubbish. And we'll be... oh, look, there's Leslie there. Leslie. Orgasm face Leslie.
And we can see how this live stream's going to go already.
I'm not sure if there's any, like... Oh, there is some audio from Train Sim. Let's just zoom out while I make the turntable render. I hate that in Train Sim, that the turntable doesn't render. Like, you spawn in and it's just like a big hole in the ground. It's stupid. Anyway, let's get our passengers in.
Let's look for that buried face while we're at it.
Who's in Berry?
What? Do you know that something that really bugs me about train simulator is that even after all this time it's been out, the coach interiors still look shite.
There's one exception that I can think of to that, and that's with the newer DT coaches.
Yeah, but even so, the people, I don't know why, but I'm looking at a person, it's like 5 pixels for a person.
Yeah, though, these are pretty old coaches you've got at the moment.
Yeah, but even the newer models don't have people like properly animated.
No, the people are...
I think the problem is that I think that's something core that is difficult to like.
Yeah, but you could just make a static model, couldn't you?
Well, why don't you do it?
Yeah, I will. I will literally spend the next 10 years preparing to learn Blender and 3ds Max so that I can make it and go, haha, sucks to be you lot.
Right, I think we should hold you to that.
At their finest.
There we go.
Alright, lamp. I need a lamp. Control and 1. There we go. Oh my god,
Seeming 88 says LMS equals Leslie might strike.
He might very well strike.
I'm on strike.
Okay, let's...
And don't forget to make sure there's no handbrakes on, Reese.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm not driving a freight train today, so it's cool.
Yeah, but knowing
you never know.
Knowing you.
You know, it's only when I drive...
knowing you.
It's only when I drive freight is when I mess up. I'm so used to driving, you know, crack express trains that, you know...
Yeah, we could tell.
Shovel, damn it, shovel. I'm just gonna... Although, actually, I played this a little bit earlier, and then when I made a massive fire, just, like, kept blowing off all the way up the hill.
You have to remember that it's set that so it's more for the mainline work.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's expected.
Yeah.
It's like the fire is sort of set, ready to do like 70 mile an hour on the main line. It's not really
The automatic fireman with the Control R also is set basically for that. Because I was driving it earlier with that and just using the injectors, and there was like, why have you put 1,000 pounds of coal on the fire, you stupid man? That's not very helpful.
Yeah. All right. Let's have a look out the window. Who's going to be my guard for the day?
Jeff.
Jeff is the guard, ladies and gents. So we'll have the tip from the guard. So does someone want to give me the tip?
I'll give you a tip. Eat more greens.
It's a good tip.
That is a good tip. I can't deny it.
Eat more greens and don't touch your penis.
Well, that's not such a good one. I don't like that.
In fact, I was actually given a good piece of advice the other day by a doctor, funnily, actually. It's like, don't put your penis anywhere you wouldn't put your hands.
I thought it was don't put your fingers anywhere you wouldn't put your penis. That's what I was told.
It's something like that, yeah. It's something like that, yeah.
Like when using machines, if you're not willing to put your cock in it, then don't put your fingers in it.
Yes, that's how it works.
It's little bit politically incorrect and disgusting, but it is a very good thing to have in life. All right, so anyway, since you guys are not gonna wave your flag or blow your whistle for me, I'll just assume.
There you go. He hasn't got a whistle; he's got an air horn instead.
Let's go. Oh, so this is an LMS Rebuilt Royal Scot with 2-tone horn.
No, you're being invaded by the Germans. That's the air raid siren going off.
I can't wait for the next Caledonian Works loco, which Chris has already promised me that he's going to fit bagpipes as one of the whistles. And that's because I put pressure on him in the live stream. So, ladies and gents, I am capable of influencing development in Train Simulator, which is something that I've always wanted to achieve with my videos.
Wait, what? How are you an influence?
Because I basically said in one of my streams that to Chris I want him to make a logo which has bagpipes as the whistle, and he said yes, he's going to do it. So I'm like, yes.
There's a
developers.
There's a difference between him saying yes, I'm going to do it, and him actually doing it.
Well,
you haven't influenced anybody.
If he doesn't do it, then I'll be like really disappointed. And there is
I'm sure you being really disappointed is going to change the course of human history.
It will.
To be honest, I think Chris could probably cope with disappointing you.
No, I don't think he could.
I can cope with disappointing Reese.
I know you could, but you know.
Oh, I didn't shout penis. Oh.
It's never too late.
Penis.
God, there's 58 people watching. Nice.
Where's
58
that
people who should be doing something better with their lives.
Oh my god, I'm already slowing down, and I'm blowing off. Come on,
you
train.
You just can't get the drivers nowadays.
Have you closed the ejector fully?
Yes. No, I haven't. No.
Good. I was going to say,
if you've done
that.
I do know when I'm not driving in a Great Western loco where you can actually shut the ejector because it's got its own vacuum pump.
And here's a question: which region lost its steam first?
The Great Western.
Yeah, exactly.
Hashtag
because
Great Western sucks.
Because it's superior.
How is it superior?
Because it was more technologically advanced. Actually, I'll say the Southern. No, the Southern got rid of steam first, really, because it electrified how many lines? Even in like the 1920s, it was electrified lines. So they were the ones with the bigger brains.
So basically, what you're saying, yeah, and then can I also
say?
So
what you just confessed is Southern superiority.
Yeah, you have actually just done that.
No, not really. I just said that they're more economically.
In your attempt,
and I quote, "They have the bigger brain."
I'd also like to attempt to defend the Great Western. What you've actually done is you've shown them up.
Yeah,
I'm defending the Great Western by driving a frickin' Royal Scot. You know, that's going well.
I'd also like to say you say that the Great Western was most technology advanced, right? But they went to diesel hydraulics, which lasted how long?
Yeah, but that's because they sucked.
Yeah, so the Western region was rubbish?
Yeah, that's Western region, it's not Great Western, is it?
But it's the same people.
No, it's not, it's different.
It is.
It's different.
It's like saying
Just because they were built at Swindon doesn't mean they were designed in Swindon.
They were
To
actually.
be fair, we had a Stania 8F that was that's currently on the Worth Valley, and that was built by the Great Western.
Yeah, the
And
Great
it's
Western
currently sat in the
built
back of the
8F.
shed because it's shit because it's Great Western.
It's
It
Great
also can't be
Western
made in
8F.
Train Sim because it's Great Western.
Yes. Bearing in mind that a load of Stania 8Fs
I'm going
were
to
also
say that
built by the
the
North Eastern.
8Fs, they're alright by me, because they were built by the Great Western as well, so yeah, they're okay by me.
So far
So far, what
in
you
this chat
basically we've discovered that the Southern is the best, and LMS is actually better than the Great Western. Okay.
No, let's not go that far. The LMS is hardly
Reese is
better.
backsliding. Yay!
But in the earlier conversation, we can even go as far as to say Hudswell Clarks.
Yeah, exactly.
Hudswell Clarks
So-
are better than any LMS logo.
But this is coming from Reese, who
So,
hated
hang
all
on,
industrial.
so therefore,
I
if
don't
Hudswell
hate
Clarks are better
industrial, I
than
love industrial.
LMS is better than Great Western, Southern is better than Great Western.
Guess who's in the chat now?
You're not doing a very good job of supporting the Great Western, are you?
Hashtag Great Western superiority. Sullen superiority. There is no other way than the Great Western way.
Yes, there is.
Great
You go east.
No.
LNER
Tell me again, what did the
superiority.
LNER chaps say about the castles when they went up on the northeastern?
If
Yeah,
only I
but
had
can I
something-
also point out another thing? You're going to bang on about that. I know exactly what you're going to say. But what happened when a V2 went down onto the western region?
It did quite well, actually.
Yes,
Exactly.
That's
It
because
actually,
the V2s were really good.
yeah, exactly. And where were the V2s built? Oh, look at that.
Northeastern.
Exactly.
But did a V2 set the world land speed record for steam traction? No, it
no, an
didn't.
A4 did actually.
Exactly. Oh
So
yeah, and
it's
it
not
killed
Western.
itself. And it had to kill itself by doing so. So Great Western Loco wouldn't have done that.
See,
Can I just also ask the question, what loco is called the loco that won the war?
I think that would probably be the 8F actually.
No, it's the V2 actually. The V2 is known as the loco that won the war.
Okay,
so
how many
you could
V2s
bring up-
ventured to the western region then during the war?
you could bring up the rods as well, because a lot of them went abroad to various
Yes, I
places.
could bring
I
that
was-
as well. I'd
Yeah,
also like to
exactly. No
point-
V2s went abroad, did they?
Yes,
The
but can I
8Fs
also
did.
point out that
No,
the
no, you
V2s
can't.
were also
La, 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 la,
drafted
If I
in.
talk loudly, nobody will know you're talking. La, la, la.
The V2s were drafted in onto the southern region when the merchant navies all started going bust and actually outperformed the merchant navies.
Yeah, well, the merchant navies were southern, so enough
Can I point out the merchant navies outperformed the castles as well?
No,
So
they didn't.
Oh,
They bloody well did not.
they did.
They did.
So
Stania. Or what?
Anyway, so this is the
there we
Rebuilt
go.
Royal Scot.
He's trying to ignore the entirety of the conversation.
No, just the Great Western superior. It doesn't matter what you
Okay,
say.
okay,
It doesn't matter
it's
what
fine.
reasonable argument you think you can make. Western superiority.
Right, Rhys, are you prepared to test this
yeah.
theory?
yeah.
How can I test
Come
it?
on, after you get to the other end of the line, go for another route. You pick something Great Western. I'll go for something LMS.
No, we're not. We won't do that tonight. We will set that up for when we do that Plymouth to Paddington race.
Yes,
Yeah.
when we do the 4-hour long one.
Yeah, we'll do that. You drive something LMS and I'll drive something
I will
Western.
definitely drive something LMS.
All right, challenge
And
accepted.
we are
All right.
taking the full
LNER
14
4.
curve.
Okay, it's Midland versus Western next week, or it won't be next week. We'll set a date for it.
I'll bring the LNER into this and wipe
Okay.
the floor with a lot of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just bring your modified LNER A4 Pacific and whatever.
I'm not worried. I'm not worried.
Or with your Duchess that takes 5 men to stoke it properly.
No, it only takes 2.
2. That's still 1 too many. Great Western Loco didn't need 2 firemen.
Yeah, but Great Western.
But that's because Great
the
Western
same.
didn't do very good to need it.
Great Western.
Hey, no. Whenever I'm going to have to fight back here. Everybody goes on about the LNER and the LMS setting speed records, but For how many decades did the Great Western hold the record for fastest intercity timetable service?
Undocumented.
It's not. It was documented in timetables for decades.
Yeah, but that's
the
because
Cheltenham Flyer was the fastest train for how many decades?
Yeah, but
Worldwide, the fastest train in the world for like 3 decades.
But that's a
I
much
love
shorter
how
route.
this is a live stream about the
Oh shit! I just started going. I probably should have checked that all the doors were shut first.
All right, West Somerset Railway.
Ooh, shots fired! Stepping on people's toes there, Matt.
Well, it's all out in the open now. Come on.
Nathan said that I'm triggered. He's right. I am a bit triggered.
How did Trigger Reese talk bad about the GWR?
Or set off a Patriot without.
But one thing we can
It's not a Patriot. It's a
Royal
Royal
Scot. Oh
They're all
my
the same shit to me. They all look the same.
You're saying that, and you're a Great Western. All right.
Yeah.
What if we can say the same thing about castles, kings, and so
There is
forth?
nothing.
They all look the same.
No.
I'm
You
sorry. A
cannot
saint.
say that a king and a castle look the same.
Okay, what about a saint and a hall?
A
It's
saint
all Great
is much
Western.
bigger. A saint is like twice
What
the
about-
size.
Yeah,
Saint
but
is like.
the Royal Scot is much bigger than a Patriot, and you
Yeah,
still
exactly.
get them confused.
It's
Yeah,
all-
it's all
well-
they all look the same. You know.
To be fair, castle, king, whatever, all looks the same in a scrapyard.
Ooh. Talk about Mr. Scrap Steamies right here.
And Great Western. The Great Western can't be that good. There's hardly any of it in the national collection, so.
I'm gonna shoot you, Matt. Literally, I have been triggered. I've been to both National Railway Museums, and I am so triggered by that.
Just because you're too blind to see Lodestar, I mean, come on.
No, I walked right underneath Lodestar at the NRM, and I was like, is this the only Western thing here? You know, City of Truro, its rightful place is the NRM. And people say to me, oh, what about at Swindon? It's like, no, the Great Western fucking abandoned it. They abandoned City of Truro, and the NRM took it in. So yeah, I think it should stay at the NRM. It is a vital piece of the national collection. It's so Great Western that even the Great Western don't deserve to have it.
One thing we can all agree on is that industrial locos are better than any of them.
813 is life.
813 is a Hudswell Clark, and Hudswell Clarks are just the superior locomotive. It's an unquestionable fact.
I should have plugged in my Xbox controller.
Console.
Lego, any nice panoramic shots?
Yeah, I think we'll get some panorama shots. Although inevitably, I'm sure I'll end up doing like twice the speed of sound by accident.
Oh god.
Ma, get the camera!
So your
Beautiful
plan is to do a
panoramic
return trip, yes?
Yes.
Right.
Which involves running round.
What's going to happen first? Reese crashing or me leaving?
I think
I'm going to
you'll
go with
probably
Reese
leave.
crashing.
You'll probably leave first.
I'm going to say Reese crashing.
Why? Why does everybody want me to crash all the time?
Because you
It's
always
not
do.
necessarily like we want you to, it's just we kind of expect it from you now.
Oh, the regulator's doing its thing again. You know where it sticks open.
You do know that's how you get into second valve, and you have to like open it and shut it quickly to get out of second valve.
That's
Oh,
how you
okay,
get
if
the
you
big
hold
wolf.
shift. I didn't know that.
It is how you get the big wolf.
The big wolf.
Big wolf. I hate the LMR packs so much. Cannot wait to be done with it.
Oh, excuse me.
That's disgusting.
You're disgusting.
Oh, wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Well, never mind. I'm gonna stop. We've bragged Reese enough about GWR.
No, we
Why
never
is this
enough.
injector not working? Oh, it is this one. Right, okay.
Why is this injector
Because it
not
knows you're
working?
not an LMS
Because it
fan.
is.
Yep. It's because you've insulted it. It's okay.
Oh. Bossman Games channel is watching.
Oh my
Somebody
god,
from there is
no!
watching.
Bossman is watching. Oh my god.
So lucky
Please,
at watching me
do not be
completely
angry at me.
interface.
There's no pressure on me then. If I crash this loco, I'm going to be in so much trouble. Oh my god. Okay, I've got to be on my best behaviour now, lads.
You. Oh.
You on your best behavior? That never happens.
Yeah, but he's just listening to me bitch for the last 10 minutes about how crap the LMS is while I'm advertising his product. And I'm excessively speeding. Whoops.
This is Mr. I can influence developers. A developer joins the chat.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Literally, like.
Well, I wasn't talking about him. I was talking about like others. Okay, I think that'll do. Yeah, 23 miles an hour is close enough to 20, right?
I hope
John,
you
I
like.
guess you guys are going to have to
calling
send
for
a report
Wesley-
to the
Les-
Office of Rail Regulation because I'm speeding. Oh my god.
I don't think one report would quite cut it.
Well, what about like 60 reports from all the people watching the live stream? Oh my god, whoops! I just shoved the regulator through the roof.
That
Oh,
is
nice.
Second valve.
That
Come
is
on,
where the
Midland
regulator.
region, it's time to make your mark on me.
Calm down.
I'm literally I'm in a live stream where I've got to slate the LMS as much as possible, and I'm not doing very well because I'm actually really liking this loco. So, you know.
Mr. Bossman, if you are still watching, if you could do this to an Eastern Region loco, that would be nice. Thank you. Just putting it out there.
What
B17s.
loco would you have in develop then as his next one if you had a choice about the matter? Why is the
well, I know-
regulator at
7F.
100%?
Well, I know he did.
Actually,
Pretty
you've got a good point. The 7F, I would love to see an advanced 7F. And considering that he did the Black 5, I think, and if Bossman is watching, if you want a hint from us, a new 7F would be lovely. So
I would prefer an
Yes,
advanced
that'd be
report,
wonderful.
just me.
another 7F. I think the 60 people watching this live stream will all agree with me as well.
I doubt it.
Yeah. New 7F for the win.
I'm going to stick up for the industrials here and say an
That's what
advanced
fine.
industrial loco would be nice.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
we've
I
got
wouldn't
one.
mind
Any,
if we
any,
did
any
J94.
industrial loco, but the J94. I mean, so far there are two high-quality industrial locos in game,
What's that?
and that's James Horrocks' 16-inch Hunslets and the Austerities, and that's it. The rest of the stuff is either freeware or default BTG stuff.
I'd love a proper advanced B1.
Actually, if he is going to make
be
a new
honest.
7F, please make die with a face and everything.
No.
Yes.
No, he's
That's
not.
asking a bit much. That's asking a bit much.
Yeah,
This
but
just-
I thrive on being as cheeky as possible. That's just my thing.
I literally gave you
Yeah,
instructions.
you wouldn't be you without it.
I know you did, Sam, and I still haven't really used them. But I haven't
Oh,
really had the
God.
time. I've been too busy, you know, doing things.
Doing people in Hull.
Doing... What do you mean, doing people? I'm married, I can't do people.
No, it's not exactly stopped you.
Hey.
This is how rumours start.
You better hope the missus ain't watching this.
She actually said she was going to watch just so that she could
Hi, Hannah.
troll me as much as possible. Right,
That's what we're
regulator
here
shut,
for.
regulator shut, drain cocks open, brakes on, hard port.
You're not driving a
Hard
ship.
report.
Okay, who said in the chat that we need Mardy Monster? Have you been talking to Ben?
Yes, we do need Mardy Monster actually. That would be a stunning loco to have. The idea of having an industrial loco with the same strength as a bloody Black 5.
I thought it was
Mardy
strong.
Monster, Mardy Monster is actually a 7F in terms
Bossman,
of
he said
VR.
he is going to do a Patriot, so I'm not far off, Matt, by saying Patriot.
Yeah,
but
but no,
The
that's
Merchant Navy,
yo,
that is going to be amazing.
yeah. I'm looking forward to
I
that.
am really looking forward to the
be honest,
Merchant
the
Navy.
Patriot. The Patriot from JT was okay. I'm glad that he's doing another one. As I say, I'm an Eastern man, so any Eastern stuff, I just
How about
Although
the tram?
a tram. No,
Yeah,
not the
is it
Y7.
The Y7
We're not
tram?
having the Y7.
Yes. It's
Don't
Eastern
need the wise-
region. It'll do the job.
Yeah, but the B1, you could do with a proper
There is
like.
a B1.
Well,
Yeah, but
the
it's
B1,
so there was a Black
there are-
5, and we still got a new Black 5.
There are plans
Yeah,
for the
but-
B1.
Let's be fair, the Black 5, the standard Dovetail Games Black 5 is kind of like Train Simulator 8 now, isn't it?
Well, very true. The B1 has held up alright, actually.
Hang on, where's my
And if you go
lamps
to
gone?
shameless plug here, but if
Why
you
are
go
they
to the
milk
website,
bottles on my
you can
route?
download 2 reskins of the B1. One is Mayflower and the other is 1264.
And I'm just pulling
I've got the
into
Vulcan
an
production
absolutely
my own
perfect
stuff, so I'm
spot.
alright.
Oh, that couldn't have been any more perfect, even if I did it myself.
You
Oh
did
wait,
do it
I did
yourself.
do it myself. Sorry.
Oh, hey Reese.
That is just a beautiful looking scene.
Thing,
I'm sorry, you know, as much
thing
as I
think
do
of
love
me-
the Great Western, I gotta say, look at this logo. She is.
See, it's
stunning.
funny because you go on about the Great Western all the time, but whenever you take almost any LMS loco out, you fall in love with it
Shut up.
within a few minutes.
Shut up.
Yeah, I mean,
Shut up.
most of the Caledonian stuff
you
became
are a
LMS.
I
They've
thought
Shut
you are a
up.
closet
Great Western
LMS fan.
superiority.
You actually are a closet LMS fan.
Hey,
You actually are.
No, I'm not.
You actually are.
No, I'm not.
You actually
remember?
are.
No.
Remember Bossman Games is what?
Yeah, but still Swindon's superiority for the win. All you need is
Swindon's crap, you
this Royal Scot needs a copper cone. What is
But
it?
here's my question:
Copper
how
cap
many?
chimney, and it needs a brass safety valve bonnet. And then
Yeah,
it'll
but
be
here's a good
perfect.
question. Here's a good question for you. Out of however many live streams you've done this year, how many have actually been Great Western locos?
Not many, because a lot of the Great Western stuff is really dated now. Like, you know, the castle and the king that came with the Dawlish route. What's it called? The
Yeah, the
Riviera in
Kings.
the 50s route.
Mhm.
It's just dated, and the sounds are just like really sort of basic. You know, it needs more whistle variations.
Is this something I want to point out? I'm not sure if this is something I want to point out. Those were made by the guy who's Bossman.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that they need updating because you get more variations.
Just
Yeah.
You need updates.
Just
I do need
Fair,
updating.
though.
But what I'm saying,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm just saying that there needs to be more variations now. Like the whole pack needs to just be revised and re-released. I think, and I would buy it because I'm stupid and I spend my money on lots of frivolous things.
Yes.
we noticed.
I am the perfect customer for Dovetail Games because I just go, oh, I'm gonna buy it. Yes, Bossman Games says he is a Great Western man. He is a legend. He is the guy, and he agrees with me.
He's a great
He
Western
agrees
man
with-
who's built a load of LMS stuff.
Yes, which proves again that the Great Western is superior because
Oh yeah, well,
William
hang
Stanier,
on.
William
Wait,
Stanier
wait,
worked for the
wait,
Great Western. That's where he learned his trade, and he built the LMS. Boom, shakala. Your point
So hang
is
on a minute.
invalid.
Yeah. So no. Right, hang on a minute. No. We're gonna have this argument.
I win.
okay?
I win. Na,
No,
na, na,
right.
na, na.
No, you're
Matt,
saying the
it's
LMS is.
Matt, it's my
Yes,
live
no,
stream.
no,
I can
no,
kick
no.
you out
Hey,
if I don't like what you
Reese,
say.
there you go.
No, this is
I would love to do a new Castle and King. There
right.
you go.
The thing is though, you say about that, right? But the Great Western didn't promote Stanier, therefore he left to do better
Exactly.
things.
Yeah,
with the
because
LMS.
he should have put a copper cap chimney on all his logos. If he'd have done
He
that,
left.
he'd have been fine.
He went to the LMS and then he built the most powerful class of locomotive.
And the most successful
this-
class of
yeah.
locomotive, because
He
what
built-
lasted until the end of Steam, the
Hey,
Black
all the
Fire.
castles and kings did as well. Except the fact that the end of Steam came much earlier for the Great Western.
Yes, so still, the Midland region survived the longest
No, it
with
didn't.
loco.
It was the Northeastern that did, didn't it?
Oh my god!
The last
Where was the 15 guinea special, Reese?
I don't know. Up north somewhere. North of Watford,
Midland
and no
region.
one cares.
Sorry, what was that?
That was think about it. I think it was the Midland region, wasn't it? And what ran on that? Oh, it was.
It was a standard,
it was-
wasn't it?
It,
Three
no,
Black
it
Fives
was
and a
three
standard.
Black Fives and Oliver Cromwell.
Oh,
also,
so it was
wasn't
BR
it,
standard then?
the last engine to have its fire dropped on BR was that not technically 45212, which is a Black 5?
I think so, yeah. And also, I'm pretty sure that even though there was the end of Steam, the Black 5s were then put into Steam the next day on the last after the 15th Indy special, specifically for the BBC.
I think it's what you're
LMS
forgetting is.
superiority.
I think what you're forgetting is that number 6000 King George was the first steam loco to break the BR steam ban. So
And I think you're also forgetting that it was
Western...
also joined by Bahamas shortly after.
I think you're also actually forgetting that the first loco to break
I
the
didn't
BR
invite you guys into my stream to like
Also,
gang up against me.
The first steam locomotive to break BR steam ban was actually an industrial loco.
Oh, is that the one that ran away onto BR metals by accident?
No,
Claims to
that's
be the first one.
No,
Okay,
that's the one that actually went to the Nene Valley.
I'm going to bring up the London Northwestern Core Tank now. First locomotive to be preserved by public subscription. Paved the way.
Was that the one from Abergavenny Shed?
Paved the way. Well, there's only one preserved.
Well, yeah, that's the one then, isn't it? That's the one.
Yeah.
It was, and that was only there to serve as the snowplow, wasn't it? That's the only
Something
reason
like
it
that.
survived.
But it paved the way for the entire of the railway preservation movement because it was the first one that showed that
the
it
Talaflim
could
did
work.
that.
Well, technicalities.
We'll just gloss over the because it's narrow gauge. Nobody
It's
cares,
narrow
right?
gauge, doesn't count.
Yeah, there we go. And it's like everybody that goes mad when they say that the Vale of Rydal was BR steam at its finest.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
it
it's
was.
It's narrow
certainly
gauge, but
outlasted the steam.
Sorry. It's narrow gauge, but it doesn't count. Says the man who keeps linking me pictures to a 7 1/4 inch Corrie Hunslet he wants to buy, and the man who keeps buying
No. I love
narrow gauge steam locos.
I love narrow
narrow
gauge.
gauge is nice, but it's sort of in a different league, really, isn't it? I mean, if you look at steam in the UK, you split it into the categories of standard gauge, narrow gauge,
And Great Western.
15-inch gauge, and then sort of what a hobby gauge is, really.
Well, like live steam engineering stuff.
Yeah.
Model engineering.
Sort of 15-inch gauge is called minimal gauge because it's deemed as the minimal gauge you can have for a practical working railway. So anything smaller than that is basically just
I want to
fancy
actually
toys.
build like a 5-inch gauge line between two towns just to prove that it can be done.
It could be done, but
It wouldn't
It
accept,
wouldn't-
it would be the most ridiculous gauge because you'd have to have like a 200-meter long train just to make it commercially viable.
exactly.
Right, Nathan says Vale of Riddle, which I guess means Vale of Rydal.
Close enough, right?
It's close enough. It's Welsh language, so you know nobody cares, right?
It's a dead language.
It should be a dead language.
It's,
Hashtag Welsh government.
oh, it's
propaganda.
Welsh, so we don't have to care about your opinion about the DWR.
Ah, shove it up your blowhole. What's my gauge glass reading? Oh, we're actually doing quite okay boil water level wise. I've had the injector on for ages.
Has the injector on for ages, suddenly stops, suddenly has 1.5 in the boiler. Oh, prime!
But yes, in answer
it's
to
just getting a
Nathan's
shower.
question, Vale of Rydal for the win. Bossman, if you're still watching, Vale of Rydal and Train Sim, please.
Yes, more industrial stuff, but more narrow gauge stuff would be nice. And I'm
I'll
going to
tell
put
you what is needed, and I said this in the last live stream, is Vale of Rydal in Train Sim World.
I don't know if
Yes.
that's... You know that they're not going to do
Any-
that.
No, I know they won't do it, but it
Crazy.
should, because it would be amazing.
But yeah,
Do you know what actually thinking is what should be next, if we think really about it and what's gone on at the moment, it should be a proper redone advanced 8F.
Yes.
Because if you think about it,
next logical progression.
it's the next logical progression, and
Well,
we haven't
Bossman Games
actually got a proper advanced freight loco.
No, you're right. It's
because
always
I mean,
Express
you can say
Well,
that Victory Works stuff is kind of advanced, but it's
Super
not.
D.
Okay, I'll give you the Super D on that
Super
one.
D,
but
but
we could do with more.
And not being funny, but I do kind of like the Bossman Games method of advancedness because, yes, it's advanced, but it's a nice mix where you can completely turn on auto fireman and drive it without worrying about any other fire inside, which really...
I will say as well, though, that the latest JT ones do that, like the V2 and the K4 and the standard 7. They're all they all have auto fireman that you turn on and just do it for you. So it's kind of similar, but I do think that the 8F is probably the next, because express engines and mixed traffic are all nice enough, but if you think about it, if you want an advanced loco and you want to pull like a 800 bloody coal wagons, probably a very good...
Do you know what I've realised, Sam?
Yes.
I've let the fire actually run down to something more appropriate. Oh my god, no I haven't, I'm running out of steam.
God.
You should have done Control R and told the man to just stoke it. So.
I've just realised my boiler pressure is right down.
Whenever I use Bossman Game stuff, because I'm lazy mostly, I always just stick auto fireman on and auto injectors on. But it's also a more realistic way of doing it, because if you ever go on an engine, particularly if you're on a proper working standard gauge and you're not just going up and down a siding, you have two footplate members and you are either firing or driving.
Yeah.
You're not doing both. So really it's actually more realistic to not do any other firing at all.
That's why I liked it when JT started bringing it in on their stuff. And it was like, you could just concentrate on learning a route and just driving. Because in a lot of cases, learning the route is just as difficult as everything else. You don't want to have to be cocking about with an injector level, which I've just realised I'm also driving the Royal Scot. Oh no, I haven't actually got the injector on. Oh, it's just because I've gone over the top of a hill, that's why the water went all funny.
I've got no steam.
Something we do desperately need is more narrow gauge stock, and I'm going to plug a friend's route here. If you haven't got it, go get it, but Dufferin, I've no idea how you actually pronounce it.
Dufferin
Lecce, that's the one. If you haven't got that, go and download it from the Steam Workshop, because it is an absolutely phenomenal...
And guess what? Reese did a video of it.
I did.
Reese did a video of it.
Now. It's much further on, but so far, the only properly made loco we have we can drive on it is all Chorus stock. Which is nice.
Like one coach, and then you run out of steam.
Think about it. If you could have quarry Hunslets that in the various liveries that you could do the kind of the Victory Works kind of customization on, like that would be ideal for stuff like that. Or your generic.
The quarry Hunslets are such a varied class that with one very simple loco, you could create hundreds of different locos.
Exactly.
I mean, you had a customizable name, things like options of a cab or not, and all that sort of stuff. A few different livery variants, and you can recreate.
I'd just like to
what
point
is
out
essentially the most iconic narrow gauge loco of the country.
SJB Media 1996. I think it's time for learner drivers. Reese learns how to actually drive a steam engine.
No, I refuse.
To be fair, that reminds me of when you were driving the Class 40 and I basically had to teach you how to use it, and then you crashed at the end. But
why can't I change the points?
Because you're going too fast. Train Sim does this. If you're going too fast,
the Class 40. Wasn't that when Leslie lunged at it?
God damn it! Going to the wrong platform.
Oh, congratulations!
Congratulations!
I was actually going to take on water here, but since I'm now going in the wrong platform,
you've got more than enough water.
Surely we're not back to the taking on water discussion again.
No,
not again.
What's the taking on water discussion?
Oh,
I
you
kind
missed
of
it from the last live stream that we did.
what? They
Basically,
shouldn't.
I was pulling a heavy freight train along the line, and I basically left the handbrake
With
on.
the handbrakes on.
So I just consumed every little bit of water in the tank, and yeah, it wasn't fun.
It's because you're an idiot.
Well, yes. Well, we're in the wrong platform, but you know, it's a good thing that realism doesn't exist here on the Penrith Valley Railway.
It's run by you.
I've actually got pressure in the boiler again. And I'm shoveling like mad.
I'm now looking. I'm actually now
fact,
looking on the live
fun
stream and
fact.
seeing that you only have 160 psi. What the flip?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
God.
kind of stopped shoveling.
Oh, just do Control R or something. Just so
Fun
that you.
fact, if you have a look at the chimney when you're going along, if sparks are coming out of the chimney, you're giving it too much woof and you're draining your boiler of pressure.
Alright,
Yeah, well,
Nice little subtle-
you're dragging the fire through too much.
Yeah, nice little subtle bit of scripting on there, but it's nice in that way because you can drive it entirely from looking out the window without needing to actually check your pressure. If you stick Auto Fireman on, you can drive it without actually looking at any of the heads-up displays.
Hmm.
So
well,
I'm pretty sure that Mr. Bossman Games is really pissed off at me for butching his beautiful model. So
he ain't watching anymore.
he's not.
Dylan-
Okay.
Dylan Gill, hashtag Ask Reese. How has life been treating you?
It's been kicking me in the nads.
There's your answer.
Why am I losing boiler pressure again?
Life has been treating Reese like Reese is treating his loco.
It's LMS, so it deserves everything it gets. Right, okay, let's go,
I
guys.
can say the same thing if I go and drive something GWR.
Power. Probably should have driven it on the main line though. Because oh well. We'll be fine. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
It shouldn't be
Ladies
cool.
and
If
gentlemen,
it's cool,
Reese
that's
is
probably why.
planning.
If it's cool, it's probably why you're not generating much steam.
Yeah, that's true. Oh my god, I farted so loudly.
I heard that.
I felt it. I felt the
And
ground
you,
shake.
Message was
and you
right.
said my burp was disgusting.
Oh my god, my fart is so disgusting. It stinks.
Serves you right.
Villager Scout says American trains ? Yes, there are American trains, but we don't like them. And there's an American here. Oh, who's gone?
Sam.
Oh, Sam has died. Please, everyone, spam RIP for Sam because he is gone but not forgotten.
He'll be back. I guess his computer.
Oh, there he is. He's
done.
back. You don't need to start spamming RIP, although they probably will. But you,
No F for respects either. Although some probably will.
I think I'm just. Is he there or is he not there? Has he actually died? Is this just his ghost?
I think he's stuck in the world between worlds.
Oh no!
Yep, I'm dead.
Little and often. Shovel, shovel, shovel. Choo choo.
Everyone is naturally. People are actually now saying F and RIP because of that.
Wow.
Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, hang on. Someone's just put RIP over the hills. Can we ban them, please?
Hey. Steady on now, lads.
With Over the Hills, what happens is every time anyone mentions Over the Hills being cancelled,
It gets delayed.
it gets delayed.
Well, yeah, we're
But
on.
This actually has a tally chart at home on his wall, and every time anyone mentions it anywhere, he tallies it up. And
Yeah.
for every tally on his chart, it gets pushed back by a day.
Exactly.
Over the hills, over the hills, over the hills, over the hills.
Baffle plate. Let's see if this
Anyway, I
baffle
need-
plate actually works.
Let's see if it's.
What do you mean if the baffle plate works? Are you good? You don't remove the baffle plate.
No, you leave it in. It stops the cold air going in. Well, it,
Yes, what-
it reduces the cold air.
How are you like? Let's see if this baffle plate works. I don't quite understand.
No, because sometimes with the baffle plate in and you try and shovel, it won't let you shovel.
That's not the baffle. What?
The baffle
What are you
plate
talking?
is in front of the firebox door, right?
No, the baffle plate is not in front of the firebox
The
door.
baffle plate is actually, it sits inside the
I'm looking
it's-
at it.
it's-
Watch the stream. I'm
inside the
looking at it
firewall
right
door.
now.
The
Look at,
baffle.
I'm
yeah, but
looking
that's
at it. Watch the stream.
that's not the baffle plate. That's the flap. The baffle plate is underneath. He puts in the fire, on the top of the
Watch the stream.
firebox.
That's the baffle plate.
No, that's the
No, that's the flap.
Then
The baffle plate. You
The
can't
last
see
15
the
years of my career have been a lie.
The baffle plate. The baffle plate is inside the firebox, at the top of the firebox door.
That's the
You slide
crown.
that in. No.
Right, let me see
Anyway.
if I can find any pictures of this.
The
I
baffle.
need to get because I've got to get to traveling here soon. So I'll see you guys later.
Goodbye.
See ya.
Hi, who are you again? I mean, what?
The
Don't
baffle.
crash, Reese.
The baffle plate sits in the firebox. It stops the hot air coming back out of the fire. It directs the heat up into the crown around the top. What you've been looking at is the flap.
See, your baffle plate is what works with a brick arch.
Yes.
Basically, it's
It must be different on a Great Western logo to what you guys are talking about.
no.
No, it's not.
It's basically it's a small arch and it sits right in the fire hole door. Like you can take it in and out with a shovel. It's often what you do if at the end of the day when you're disposing if you want a bit of extra room.
Nah, I think you're all wrong. Obviously, it's just, different on a Great Western logo.
It's just
It's
Matt,
it's
Matt, go
you.
back to your Q6. Go on.
you just can't find you just cannot find the engine crews nowadays.
No, you can't. This is my
And this is-
preserved railway.
this is-
Go get
this
your
is-
own.
This is the real reason that he's no longer volunteering. Is because they were like, no, you're doing it wrong.
So on tonight's stream, Riss gets baffled by a baffle plate.
Baffled by baffle plates. Oh my god, there's a station coming up, but it is actually a request stop.
That should be the new title of the stream.
SJB Media,
Baffled
should
by
we
baffled
do a
plate.
fundraiser to buy railway documentaries about steam locos for Reese? Yeah, it might be a good idea.
How about no?
I don't quite understand this one. Oh, hang on. Nathaniel has put, like the clitoris, Reese can't find the baffle plate. Wow.
I
Well.
think my wife will disagree with you on that one, Nathan.
Breaking
Yes,
news. Reese knows about clitorises. Sex
And this is
education in
going back
Wales
to-
is not completely wrong.
This is going back to the very early days of Angry Welshman Productions,
What is?
isn't it? Is it Gary the Steam Engine?
No, actually, that never featured in my series at all, the clitoris.
Oh no, it didn't,
That-
did it?
It didn't at all. That was just something that a certain person who
Yes,
decided
let's-
to remake
yes.
it added himself, despite me telling him no, don't add that because it's nothing to do with it. He did so anyway.
Well, there you go. You have knowledge about overlay hills, and I have knowledge about other stuff.
Is the village stout? Stop asking out Thomas. No. Don't want anything to do with Thomas. Thomas is Thomas. No, stop that.
Oi.
It's not even the right theme tune anymore. It's horrible. Thomas is not Thomas anymore, and it should die.
Thomas was only Thomas for the first 7 series, anyway.
Thomas was a Thomas, and he was a Thomas, eating Thomas on the Thomas.
Eeny, meeny, miny, moe, pickaroo. And
I love the fact that there's a whistle board right by this field with horses that are easily scared by loud whistles.
I don't know. You'd think they'd get used to it.
Nah, I hate horses. They can all die.
What? You really do come out with some bollocks, don't you?
No, horses suck. Literally, they do. They really suck.
I'm sensing sort of a bit of a personal reason
Like,
here.
literally, if I was driving this train in real life and a horse walked across the track, I would open the regulator to second valve. That's how much I hate them.
have you got traumatic childhood experiences here?
Yeah, I
Rich?
do
Nope.
actually.
What happened is he went looking for comfort, and instead of finding a sheep, he found a horse, and it just kicked him instead.
Yeah, they've got very sharp teeth as well.
What, sheep or horses?
Horses.
D, all of the above.
Let's inject some water into this situation.
What? Doesn't even make sense.
Fine, let's inject some water into this boiler. I'm actually doing okay now. I've got too
He
much
says,
boiler
and then
pressure.
he says, and then he crashes.
I probably will crash at some point. Going over the viaduct, chaps. You know, actually driving this route, it does
Sir
actually
Liv,
go a lot
right?
quicker when I go at line speed. It's already been like 50 minutes, or an hour almost.
Sir Liv, serious local operation question. I've heard coal left at the bottom of a tender for a long time as having gone stale and that it won't burn properly. Is there anything to that?
Yes, there is.
Yes. Usually,
Methane.
yeah, usually what's happened is that stuff that's got to the bottom becomes like just basically ashy. And really, really horrible, like,
It will probably still burn a little bit, but just
yeah,
not,
but it's
not
never
very good.
great. It's usually
From
just sits at the
experience,
bottom. I'm speaking
it's
from
not
experience
nice.
as well. Yeah,
It's-
because every so often up at the moors they will turf out the entirety of the tender or bunker and just get rid of the coal that's in there, because usually what happens is the worst stuff ends up at the bottom, and usually all the dust and the horrible stuff.
Yeah.
So there is actually there's some correct to that.
There is actually, what happened to me years ago, I was firing Ivor, the little pecker, and they wanted to use up all the shitty coal, so they give me like 2 buckets of proper Welsh, steam coal, and then 1 bucket of the shit. So I end up basically shoveling. You get a couple of shovelfuls of nice big, fist-sized pieces, and then you just basically shovel a load of soil on. And it would just be like, fire's getting bigger, damp the fire, it's gone. Now build it up again, and it's gone. That's basically what firing Ivor was like. And then we discovered that the firebox crown was only like 4 millimeters thick in places. So we were like, oh, okay, that sucks.
And then it exploded and everybody died.
Everybody
Yes.
died. I am a ghost. I actually was killed in the Great Ivor explosion of 2010.
Yeah, personally, my experience of working on locos is limited solely to Munro. But on that engine, what often happens is we use approximately half a bunker a day, regardless of whatever she's doing. But by the end of 2 days running and you've emptied the bunker, you have a good sort of 10 centimetres at the bottom, which is just sort of fingernail-sized lumps of coal and dust, and that's all the sort of bits that you get left over, which they burn, but you can't sustain a fire with them because they're too small, and that's the stuff that you want to avoid, really.
Right, I better get on the route map. Oh, the correct platform is actually chosen for a change.
Yeah.
Watch it reboot you at the last minute.
Yeah, because I up at the moors, I've had a variety, and it does make a lot of difference. I remember being with 76 or 79, 2 round trips. The first round trip, absolutely no problem. Second round trip, because we'd gotten down to the more horrible stuff, it just became it was a bit more of a struggle to get heat in the fire. So there is things that. Oh, he's asked a second question. Serious question number 2. One reason I've heard for the Midland and Caledonian whitewashing coal back in the day was for soot and dust control. Was that so?
It does sound like the sort of thing that they would do.
I think some of it was for, like, for picture purposes in some respects. But
Well, I think white painting of coal was to paint lines on it so you could sort of visually judge your consumption, wasn't it?
Yeah, there were various reasons for it, but it wasn't exactly common practice as such either.
No, the most common practice is to just slack down the tender with the slacker pipe off the injector to get rid of the dust. Because if you're going backwards on a loco, going back, the worst experience I've had on a loco was on a 2800 actually.
Oh,
going
of course, blame the West.
No, yeah, but going backwards.
Great Western, designing cabs for locos since 1850.
Yeah, going backwards in an open cab where there's nothing before there. Like, it just, all the dust from the tender blew back at you. And of course, when you're trying to slack it down, because you're open to the elements, you try to do that, the water would go into the tender, combine with the dust, and just come back at you, so you look like you've been up a chimney. So
Chris has just said something which is another good use of white coal.
Oh, okay.
Royal Trains.
That's an interesting...
That was one of the main...
White coal for
main
Royal
uses.
Train. But if you paint it, surely you're inhibiting its burning capability.
Probably only slightly. Once you've gotten through it, then you get through. I think I as I say, I'm not sure. I would say it's more for the photographic reasons than
and I don't think it would make too much difference to the actual burning itself. Because once you chuck it on the fire, you forget that the fire is so hot that it's
burn
not
through
really
anything.
well, not necessarily anything, but it's not going to stop catching fire by a small layer of paint over it.
Yeah, there we go.
Technical questions.
See, we are quite good. We can stop like bullying Reese for a few moments to answer proper questions every so often.
Yeah, you better.
Shut up, you.
I'm gonna complain to human resources.
I am human resources.
Oh, god damn it. Why did I even think it was a good idea to give you a job on my railway?
Because you need somebody to actually do something.
Ooh.
So, ladies and gentlemen, interesting fact of the day, you need people to run a railway.
Well done.
No way. Recruiting now, the Pennine Valley Railway, because everybody else quit. Oh, nobody else laughed. Now I feel really stupid. Thanks, guys. Thanks, lads. You know, could have laughed with me then. Actually, no. You got to do the Michael Brandon laugh.
See, why would we laugh with you when we can laugh at you?
Oh, god damn it. I'm being oppressed.
I am Jeff.
Jeff is also Jeff.
I am Jeff.
Jeff the not Thomas engine.
Jeff.
Alright, we're gonna head
burning
off
capability unless you cover it with flammable white stuff like oil-based paint. Yeah, there is one problem with that, is that if you cover it's a bit of a catch-22 with covering it works. Right, covering it in something like Terps works for smaller live steam locos because you're not having to. You keep constantly putting stuff on. Whereas the problem you've got with coal in some respects is if you cover it with something that's more burnable, it just burns the initial stuff off and then it doesn't actually catch fire. Hence why you wouldn't find on proper locos them actually using terped coal. It's just the rags typically that you would use just to initially set fire, and then you're basing it off the heat that's produced from the wood and then the coal. So it can actually be a detriment to it. From my understanding of chemistry, and I did chemistry.
Lies.
Tips Fedora.
I think you're lying, Matt.
Well, you don't know anything.
I do, I know a few things.
What do you know?
I know that bacon is really nice to eat in the morning.
Yes, well,
Well, you're not wrong.
Well done.
you
Go
go.
back to your corner, dear.
Fact
We'll
of
bring
the
you
day.
some. We'll
Go
bring
Go
you
back
some.
to my
morning.
corner, it's my live stream.
That's what you think.
Oh well, is that how it is? You've hijacked
This
the
is-
live stream.
This is
It
how
was
it
your live
always.
stream, but now there's been a mutiny and it's now not.
To be fair, this is how it always goes. It's supposed to be your live stream, but then it actually just isn't.
It's also supposed to show off a product, but then just doesn't.
It does show off the product, just not very well.
It
So,
shows off
alright,
how not to use the product.
placement. There's a link in the description below. Go and buy this product.
Go buy
it.
this product
Buy
and
it
drive
now.
it better than Reese's.
Drive it better than me. As long as you buy it.
It is a damn good look.
I have to be fair, it is a very good piece of DLC. Really, really nice.
But
I'm
yes,
currently
obviously
driving.
it's not a castle, but it is.
I'm
looking back at the year of DLC this year, it's actually been a pretty good year, particularly for the LMS. I mean, we've had 3 good LMS 460s from Bossman Games. We've had a whole host of stuff Caledonian based from.
Yeah,
Chris
we've had like 500 releases from Chris.
Yeah, we've had. I mean, this year I think we've had more LMS products than were already in game.
Well, I'm really hoping that 2019 is the year of the Great Western.
You've had the Great Western in
You
Train
have that-
Sim. Like Great Western
You've
has had Rome
yeah.
of Train Sim since it came out.
If anything,
No.
I hate to say it, but the Southern the LNER, because I'm biased, but the LNER and the Southern need more stuff to
yeah,
balance
yeah,
it all
yeah.
out.
The
LNER
Southern
more
needs
than the Southern, but they both do really.
You can actually, I'm gonna say it, I'll never turn down a Steam logo, no matter what company it comes from. For DLC on Train Sim, I'll never say, don't bother or don't buy it or anything.
Well,
If
you
it's a
have
Steam-
it has to be good.
Yeah,
It has to be good.
I
yeah,
think that's the
but-
thing.
but I
it
never
has-
want to discourage anyone from developing it.
No,
Because it's
yeah.
like, Steam,
Yeah.
we need more
I think-
Steam, full stop.
I mean, I think we all have favourites, but I don't know about anyone else. But personally, I would take a Steam loco over any other type of
Tin
loco for
box,
Train
you
Sim. I'd take it over any diesel, over any electric, regardless of country. I
Yes.
would take Steam any day.
I am a Steam man, therefore. I mean, to be fair, I did drive the Class 40 when that came out, and I actually quite liked it. And I've got a slight soft spot for 25, 27, the odd one of them. Probably just because I had to work with them at the mods. But like,
Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's nice to have a change every now and then to take a diesel or an electric, but
I just
9 out of
can't
10
get.
times on Train Sim, I
just
take
can't-
Steam.
I just can't get into electric. Like, it just doesn't. No.
It's okay, but again, it all goes back to like a steam engine is viewed as a living thing,
Yeah,
and if you take a diesel, it's sort of halfway there.
the
And if
electric.
you take
It
an
just.
electric, it doesn't feel like a living thing. It doesn't feel remotely like a living thing. It's too quiet and smooth and sort of. There's not enough funny old quirks to it.
Yeah,
Although
it just.
I like driving electrics every now and then, but I want to see more, like, the Swiss route, the Reichenbahn Swiss route. I want to see more,
Yeah.
like, stuff like that, Swiss electrics, because
See, I
it's not
want
so
to
much
see
about the
some,
trains, but it's about the routes that they do. That's what I want to see.
I want
Yeah.
Australian.
I would
Yes.
like to see some Aussie
Because
stuff.
having been out there and been on a couple of them locos out there, and
Puffing
seeing
Billy
what they-
Railway.
Puffing
Oh,
Billy,
that would be
Puffing,
good.
The Billy Railway in Train Sim. Let's just go
If you
over how
ever-
many boxes that ticks.
I'd love to say if you
Yeah.
ever go out to Australia, the Puffing Billy is a must do.
Yep.
By no hands down, you have to go there because I went there and it's fantastic. I will also say that the new site, if you ever go sort of the winterish time, the Transport Expo in Sydney, where they do the Great Train Race, is an absolute fantastic. It's fantastic. Like,
That
it's
and you
just.
won't boil to death every day.
Well, exactly, but like it's absolutely, and even the Victorian Rail broad gauge stuff is. I could give me an R class. I love the R classes. Just give me a
Yes.
goddamn R class, okay?
I
It's
think
also because they can also be run on standard gauge as well. I just
Can
Yeah.
want one. Yeah, because the latter Victorian Railways engines, the our class, I'm gonna say the J and the Ks, maybe not the Ks, I can't remember. They were eventually designed so that they could be gauge swapped.
Oh, okay.
Because by this point you had, of course, New South Wales routes, which is all standard gauge, were starting to do what's the word? They were starting to run. Well, they were starting to run services all the way. Were starting to run services from New South Wales to Melbourne in Victoria, and then
because
north.
They stopped at what's that town called?
Can't remember where it was, but they used to stop, and they'd have to switch the trains and all of that. Whereas, eventually, what they would still have to switch on the borders because of government. But now they would be able to use they wouldn't have to switch the carriages and cause a whole thing there. You could just stick an R-Class or something on the front,
Didn't they
and you
try
could run
a
the train
thing
all the
where
way
you
through.
had coaches where they would literally swap the bogies over?
I think that's done in somewhere in Asia, I think it is. I've seen the video of it.
I don't know where it was. So it was like the train would stop at a station and then they'd literally lift the coach, put a new set of bogies under it, and then
Also,
carry on.
fun fact, one of the preserved R classes at the moment is in New South Wales, and it is being converted to standard gauge.
Another fun fact for you, at BLS at Ingra, we actually have the number plate from an R class, and it is an original one hanging on our wall in the museum.
Awesome.
And
What
this
number
goes
is it?
back, I think it's 711, I think.
Right.
I can't actually remember. But it is one of the R classes, and it goes back to a history of the volunteers at BLS at Ingra, having some good friends in Australia who worked on the Victorian Railways, and they both had various holidays where they went across to the other country and helped out with the restoration there. So there you go, fun fact.
Yes. Having said that, I've been on the footplate of their Garrett as well, and blooming heck, that thing is ridiculous. Also, it has an automatic stoker, which broke down for a little bit during the Great Train Race, so two poor blokes were having to stoke the damn thing. It was... I talked to one of them afterwards, and he was like, "That's the hardest thing I've ever had to do." And I was like, "Bloody hell!" But yeah, I'd love some proper Australian steam. To be honest,
Australian, there's the, I think it's the Villeneuve Valley route on the Steam Workshop, which is by someone whose name I can't quite remember off the top of my head.
some guy, yes, some guy.
It's by some person.
I just need proper. I know you've done
Hybridilla?
something like that. I know you've done reskins and bits, but I just want some.
We need a proper route.
We need a proper route and a proper set of locos, which probably will never happen. But I would love that to actually, happen.
Yeah,
Right,
I mean,
shutting the dampers
Buffing Billy would tick up a lot of boxes. I mean, one, it's pretty much narrow gauge. It's not quite narrow gauge, but it's smaller than standard gauge, so it'll do.
It's 2'6". It's definitely narrow gauge.
So, two, it's Australian, so it's from a country where we have no current stuff in train sim. Three, it's a really interesting, nice route.
The bloody A class. Is it the A class? Yeah, they're A classes. No, they're not A classes. Are they A classes? Hang on, I'm gonna do some. Let me do some Googling. Fun fact: I nearly bought a 16mm model of one, but they're just that expensive.
I'm going to put the link to that route in general in the Discord group.
Please join the Angry Welshman's Discord group for reasons that are just reasons.
I don't
So you
think
can
there's
find
even a
this
link
link.
in the video description, actually.
Is there a link?
There's a link
There
to
is
the
not.
Facebook group, but not the Discord server.
Well done, you silly
I
fool.
probably should actually add that as a thing now, shouldn't I?
Yeah,
What are they? They are the NAs. That's it.
that's the one.
When we went, there was a tour group that had turned up as well. Because me and my friend just went down. So what they did is they combined 2 sets of the coaches and double-headed NAs up the first section, which is the steepest section.
And it's not just a little hill either, it's a
Oh, it was loud, and it was fantastic. 'Cause they didn't have the Garrett out, because the Garrett only works Saturdays, I think, or something. And this was like a Wednesday.
The points?
Gosh, you're going too fast.
We're going to crash. This is why I need to get that scenario sorted, so you don't have to work out routes.
I'm probably
yeah.
gonna stop now.
Australian stuff is incredibly high up on my wish list. I mean, I always go for British Steam over anything else, but I would go for Australian. I think it's an incredibly fascinating mix of British and American stuff, and I think it's a real shame that nothing's been done with it.
My friend who is in Australia, I go and visit, he greeted me at the airport with "Welcome to Ameristralia," because basically it's just a mixture of America and Britain just mashed together.
Yep.
It's really weird, but I love the place to bits, and I am going back at some point, especially when that R class becomes on the standard gauge in New South Wales, and then I am going to go behind it, and I am going to flail harder than a flailing thing on a flailing Tuesday.
Flail harder than a Magikarp using Splash.
Yes.
Why the hell can't I move?
Oh, right.
What have you done?
I'm stuck in a
Well,
tunnel.
you've got the loco brake on.
Why is the
You
loco
have got
brake
the
on?
local brake on.
Why have you got the loco brake on?
Okay, it won't release now.
You need to, I think, close the regulator.
Oh, Jesus.
You've let the brake come on.
Open the cylinders.
No, the brake
Open
is
the cylinder
off.
cocks.
The brake is off.
So why is it...
I got 21 inches on the gauge, but the loco brake is hard on, and then you take it off, it comes
Open the
off.
cylinder cocks and close the regulator.
I have. The loco brake keeps coming on. Okay, I'm just gonna have to hold it with my hand until I get through the station.
Open the large ejector.
The large ejector is open.
It's not.
It is.
Not on the stream it isn't.
It is.
The small ejector's open, the large ejector isn't.
Where is it?
The large ejector's right in front of the small ejector.
It is open.
The big thing.
Your large ejector is the big wheel.
That's the small ejector.
No, that's the big
No,
ejector.
the small ejector is the small handle.
Yes.
The large ejector is the large handle.
Okay, it's not doing anything. They're both wide open, and the loco brake keeps coming back on. Right, okay, I'm just going to get to the station, and we'll figure it out there. Because I can't hear anything in this friggin' tunnel.
Except
all I can hear is the massively loud echo of the chuffing.
That's not such a bad thing.
It doesn't help while I'm getting ear cancer.
I don't know. We leave you for a moment. We leave you.
We have a nice little talk about Australia and then leave you unattended and...
Sir Liv,
You know
oh
why
yeah,
it is?
BMG engines are
Because
super
it's-
great, aren't they? So easy to drive. No, it's just Reese is useless, that's why.
It's because it's LMS and is trying to sabotage it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's fighting
basically.
back all these comments I've made about the LMS. This is just proving my point. The Great Western engine wouldn't have done this.
It probably would have done.
No,
It would be like,
No, a
you've
Great
not,
Western engine
you've
would have
not
been very-
polished me enough, I'm going to have a hissy fit. What have you done? How have you managed this?
I've managed to reverse the brake somehow.
Also, it's probably because you weren't paying attention and started posting in the Facebook group while you were live streaming.
Yeah, that probably didn't help. Oh my god, the boiler water level's now too full.
Oh god.
Right, I'm going to bring us to a stop and we'll try and figure out this brake.
I don't think it's helping that your boiler pressure is 187.
Yeah, well, it's still working.
Yeah, you do realise though that when the boiler pressure gets below a certain amount, the brake starts coming on automatically.
Yeah, but not 187. I had it down to about 130 earlier.
Well, it can do. It depends.
Nah, right. Shut
Plus,
all the
you
injectors. Right.
don't think it's helped that your bloody water level is.
Reduced ridiculously full. Okay, brakes off.
Okay.
Brakes on. Brakes off. Right, let's just play around. I'm going to put the loco handbrake on for a moment. So that we're not going to roll anywhere. Right, ejector on. Brakes off. Dump.
You put the ejector is what? But you turn the ejectors off on the stream.
No, the ejector is on. The small ejector is closed. I think something's wrong here then, because
Are you sure? I thought.
if you look at the menu on the left, it says small ejector closed. I'm wiggling the.
Yeah, that's
the BMG menu is actually the small ejector is actually the large ejector on the menu from the BMG thing. So if you close the small ejector and open the large ejector, it should show up as the small ejector is open.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Right, so I've got 21 inches on the gauge now, and the loco brake is still on.
What have you done?
And then I push it in, loco brake comes off, you let go, and the brake comes back on.
You haven't got
any sort of mainline running equipment on it, have you?
It's been fine up until now.
You haven't got the handbrake on, have you?
Well, I've got the tender brake on, yeah. Right now, just to stop me from rolling back. Bossman Games, we need your help. I broke your loco. Oh god. Can someone find what's it called? The manual, please.
I'm looking at the manual and I don't know what you've done.
No, I don't know what I've done.
I know what he's done. He's broken it.
Well, yes.
Well
exactly.
done, no shit, Sherlock.
God's sake. Like, you need more boiler pressure. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I do actually.
Get the boiler pressure up.
Blower on.
See, something else interesting about the BMG locos and the way they're scripted. You actually gain boiler pressure much better when you actually freshen the loco than you do when you're stationary.
But that's how it should be.
That's realistic.
Exactly. Whereas with most locos in Train Sim, if you're stationary and open the blower, you gain steam quicker than if you actually freshen the loco.
I don't know what's going... Right, what's going on here? Okay, now it's working again.
What,
Look, if I hold the apply loco brake, then I release, it comes off now. So I don't honestly know what I've done, but now it seems to have kind of gone back to how it was, or how it should be.
What button are you pressing?
Well, the loco brake button.
What button are you pressing?
That little square bracket thing. But that's how it was at the start of the scenario. Maybe you are right. Maybe it is about boiler pressure.
I don't know. I would think... What is your boiler pressure? Like 170 something?
It was 180 when we were fucking about with it. Now
See,
it's
180 shouldn't be enough to make the brakes come on.
Exactly. I was running at 130 pounds. Alright, it wasn't sexy, but it was still running. Right.
Hang on. Do you still have it... So you've still got the brake holding open?
The brakes are off now. The vacuum brake.
Are you still holding the button?
No. It's now how it should be. So I don't know what on earth happened.
You must have let it... Oh! Yeah. Your boiler water level has just gone below 1.0. I reckon you had some water in the brakes.
You reckon that was what caused it?
If you've overfilled the boiler, if you prime the boiler, which is very likely that you've done and not realised, then you've kind of you probably has filled the brakes up with water and caused havoc. Yeah. This is why I run with the priming indicators on, because if you run it heavily priming like you were, you can damage some bits.
The loco brake would be a steam brake, wouldn't it? So
yeah,
that would make sense.
Well, it's fine now.
Yeah, because it wasn't the train brake; it was the loco brake. Because these have a combined vacuum and steam brake.
All right. Okay, problem is resolved. We're off onto the main line.
So basically, what we've
Get
learned
in the
today.
main line and then you can file your report.
So basically, what we've learnt here is, like, don't prime locos. If you overfill the boiler, water can get everywhere.
Just, if this is on a railway, avoid the railway.
Pretty much, yeah.
Right, we're off anyway. We're good, it's cool. We fixed it. Probably gonna blow off like hell now, but okay, we're good. Gross incompetence for the win.
If at first you don't succeed...
Leave the scenario, reload it. Token exchange. Hello, Mr. Signalman. Bajunk! I took the token. Now I'll drop the token here. Bajunk!
Do you know what else I've realised about your line?
What about it?
It's actually a London North Western line, not a Great Western line, isn't it?
In the story and I think in Train Sim, it should be... Yeah, I mean, in the story it is supposed to be LNWR built. Because certain parts of South Wales were operated by the LNWR.
People are asking how you get water in the steam brain. Well, if you end up overfilling the boiler, you've got water coming out of everywhere.
Basically, your
So-
steam outlets, which is either the manifold or the dome. Basically, if you prime, you're just shoving water straight through it, aren't you?
Yeah,
Yeah, basically what happens is, in the boiler, you have various fittings and the like. But if you fill the boiler up with water, where you should have steam coming out, you've actually got water coming out. So everywhere where you can get steam, you can get water if you overfill the boiler. And that is how you end up making an absolute mess of your engine.
so usually in that sort of situation, you would ease off, open, and then just try and get as much steam as possible to just get rid of your water level. Because the most effective way to reduce water is to blow off, weirdly.
I mean, it also gives you a nice wash, but...
Yes.
I managed to... Actually, you know, Bay 813, she primed. The first time I ever fired as a cleaner, she decided to start priming. And my car was parked right next to the track. So, of course, it went... and just, like, erupted out the chimney, straight onto my lovely car. Which was beautiful. It was a beautiful sight.
Well, when we were with Bahamas, when it was being unveiled after overhaul, came out from behind our sheds and everything where it had been hiding. As it were coming out, because it had been sat for so long, what came out of the chimney was a mixture of water and soot, which was basically just sort of... It was like really thin, watery black paint, essentially, that came out. Big row of reporters all there and everything, big row of photographers, society members. Basically, the equivalent of priming all over them. Absolutely hilarious.
Ah, you're going to platform 3 by the looks of it.
Yeah. This is the normal for arrivals. Although actually, I think it probably should be the other way around, shouldn't it? It should be 4 for arrival and then 3 for departure.
If it's a terminus station and you're going in and running round, I don't think it particularly matters too much.
Well, if it walks like a duck and it sounds like a duck and quacks
It's
like
probably-
a duck, it's probably a goose.
It's probably a lemon.
Keith Lemon.
A sheep.
Meh. I'm surprised Matt hasn't made any sheep noises so far. There we go. It's a beautiful summer's day, as it always seems to be on these live streams. I should do a video where it's like really deep snow.
You should do one where it's the middle of a storm.
Yeah, like pissing down with rain, because Wales,
I reckon
95% of the time in Wales it's pissing down with rain with like 200-mile-an-hour winds and stuff
You should
like
do
that.
one at night and then no one can see anything.
Yeah, that's right,
Yeah.
just 2 little lights.
But then it would be a cab stream, because then if you stayed in the cab, you'd get the flicker of the fire every time it opened up.
That would actually be quite good.
See, the issue with that though is then you're then absolutely blinded whenever
Yeah, exactly.
do
As soon
open
as
the
you come
fire
into the light,
doors.
your eyes just go ah.
In real time, yeah.
Best footplate trip I ever had was Nunlow's last trip in Ticketless Year. It was an absolutely brilliant run, but it was at night. Last run up, absolutely thrashed it, and from the cab, literally all you could see was the street lights from the streets outside, gas lamps at stations, signal lamps, and the fire. And the fire was just in a room where it's essentially completely pitch black, and then suddenly you've got this fire which is white hot. It's an experience you can't really describe. You've got to try it for yourself, and
I have been on a pannier at night.
it's really is a phenomenal experience.
I did fish and chip special. Oh my god, I fucked this up.
What have you done?
I uncoupled. Why did that not uncouple? I've split the train.
What have you done?
I thought I uncoupled the loco. Balls.
Oh, for goodness sake!
I actually thought I uncoupled the loco. Alright, well, we better shunt that back on.
Really?
So,
Right,
See,
we're doing a bit of shunting in section.
This is some of the problems, I think. You would be great at, like, advertising products if you actually could use them.
This is why I have you guys in the stream. You're my consultants and I'm the incompetent driver.
we're here to tell you when you fuck it up.
Pretty much all the
Laugh
time.
at you.
Oh my goodness me, Reese. Really?
Well, you know. Oh my god,
Right.
stop.
Do you know what I'm going to do? Because I fucked it up last time I tried it, I'm going to have a go at doing the Bahamas one.
You tentatively trying to shunt here is kind of hilarious.
Oh my god, stop. There we go.
You need the Thomas the Tank Engine breakdown theme putting over. In fact, I might do that when this when the stream's finished.
I was going to say, we don't want copyright music.
I might do a parody of that and stick it in the Facebook group.
What?
Dun, dun,
Dun,
dun.
dun, 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 dun.
No,
that's the
no.
wrong one.
And
No,
then we'd need...
the,
then you'd need Reese
essentially
to,
the
like,
one we
try-
play
Oh, you
whenever
mean
they...
with the breakdown crane? Dun dun
Yeah.
dun 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 dun.
That's
Dun,
the
dun,
one.
dun, 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 dun,
You know, the
dun,
one they
dun.
use whenever they're covering up a fuck up. In fact, actually, that's quite appropriate for your videos.
I feel offended. Let me just
See-
check that the points are set the right way before I crossed over. I mean, this
That'd
would
be
actually
brilliant,
make a
wouldn't it?
really nice screenshot, this local running off onto the head shunt.
I feel offended, he says, before immediately proceeding to fuck it up and prove the points.
Good news, Florida has passed Amendment 9, which bans both offshore oil drilling and indoor vaping.
Yeah, good luck with that, Florida. So they've banned offshore oil drilling, so that basically means all cars in Florida will no longer work because they're not allowed to drill for oil. So,
No. They've banned offshore vaping and indoor oil drilling.
No more,
What,
like...
you guys don't do that indoor oil drilling, you know, in your front room and just go, hey guys, I've struck oil!
I do actually, and I have several Chinese workers around to get rid of it.
What's that episode? Is it, oh, the young ones where they're drilling for oil in the basement?
I'm drilling for oil.
And then at the very end, they're just like, actually, there was no oil. Lol. See, the boiler pressure is down now. It's like, you know, 191. And I'm still...
If it's down, you should be nice to it.
Yeah, I should.
See, that's, yeah, it will have been the priming effects, because you've been running with a full glass of water looking back for a long time, so there's been a huge build-up. I have the priming tips on when I'm driving, so that
That's
if it starts...
priming tips of pussies. I don't do
Yeah.
these indicators. I do it
Yeah,
the
but-
old-fashioned way.
of failing.
Yes. where your first indication is literally all your bearings melting because they're so hot.
Kinchu's Rolling Studios. No, he would be good at advertisement if he made a series about the engine and never finished it. Well, that's some shots fired. That's someone getting banned from the chat.
Jesus, Matt.
That wasn't me. That was the guy in the chat.
Ooh.
Right.
Brutal.
Okay, I think it's time to bring the ban hammer out.
Are you going to turn round, or are you going to run tender first?
I don't know if this loco will actually fit on the turntable.
Oh, it will fit. I'm sorry.
All right, go on then.
Give it a go.
I'll set the road.
I'm pretty sure that the turntables that the guy used on this big enough to fit an A4 on it, because I'm pretty sure I've used that on there before.
The turntables have different sizes. I think it goes 55 foot, 60 foot, 65 foot, and 70 foot.
We're set all the way to the turntable, so we'll.
I'm pretty sure that you will easily get that on there because the Black 5 fits on them easily, and that's only slightly bigger, if that, than a Black 5. But
if this goes wrong, Matt, it's your fault.
And the stream's ended early. But yeah, I know that the Woodhead turntables fit an A4 because I've done that before, and they fit a 9F.
See, I always struggle with a Duchess. I haven't actually found a turntable that's big enough to fit it on yet.
Duchesses are just too long.
Yeah, but aren't they nice?
They're just too long.
They're not in my opinion, they're not the prettiest of locos, but the power those things have.
It is ridiculous.
It's the size of it. It's just such a unit.
One of the guys was
they don't look like they could beat up a big boy.
Well, one of the guys I know at the moors, he was saying that he knew a fireman on the west coast who they had a Duchess at Glasgow, and the driver turned to the fireman and said, "Right, watch this." So they were sat in the platform at Glasgow, full boiler of water, full boiler of full pot of steam. He filled the firebox up completely, so it was basically that the fire was nearly out, as it were. So it was just black, and he said, all you have to do is judge the water. That's it. That they didn't have to put another lot of coal on until they hit Carlisle.
They were absolutely incredible machines.
Even as an Eastern region man, I can accept that they were a bloody good loco.
See, it's interesting when you bring out the whole power debate as well, because technically they hold the official power record for the country. But
what about the 9F? I thought the 9F was more.
Well, this is where
it gets to a murky.
You said a different word then because you said tractive effort, and this is where the debate comes in, because power, tractive effort essentially is a force, and power is a force times time. So they're actually different things, but they're often talked about in railway terms as being the same thing. So attractive effort is how much of something a loco can pull, essentially. But the power is how fast it can pull it as well. So it's not just how much it can pull, but
I don't know about the people watching this live stream.
Sort of like combination.
My brain is expanding as I'm listening to this.
Well, this is also strange, is that the most powerful freight loco before the 9Fs was actually the Gresley O2s. Really are. I didn't know that, but they were the most powerful locos until the 9Fs came along for freight.
I'm really looking forward to the P2s from Digital Traction. And I know they're not freight locos, but you know they
Again, this is another one where you get the power debate coming in, but I mean, technically there's not anything to actually prove it, whereas the LMS did, they actually did tests on it. Were it the LMS or were it BR? It might have been BR.
No, I think the LMS did loads of testing, and they did a lot of study on their locos, which I got to give them credit for. They really put a lot of effort into it.
Let's see if I can find it.
Probably because they were just trying to prove that they were better than the Great Western and were failing so miserably they had to...
To be honest, I don't think they particularly cared about the Great Western much. it was very much LMS versus LNER, and the Great Western were just sort of doing their own thing in the bottom of the country.
Well, the Great Western didn't take part in the Great Race, really, did they?
Well, they didn't need to.
No, because they were already setting the fastest speeds for expresses, so they didn't have anything to prove, did they?
Yeah, but they also... I were going to go on about hills then, but then I remembered the run I did the other day, and actually there are quite a few fair hills on the Great Western Main Line.
Oh yes, the
it's
Wellington Bank, for example.
Once you get past Dawlish, it's then sort
get
of
the camera. That is a shot and a half.
hills.
Right, I'm going to roll back onto this. Oh, it's the West Somerset Railway turntable. I remember fitting it now. So,
Oh, it might have been LMS, 1939. But yeah, number 6234, Duchess of Abercorn, after being fitted with a double plastic pipe and chimney, hauled a train of 20 coaches. 20 coaches.
Yeah, 9F did that.
Including a dynamometer car, from Crewe to Glasgow and back. And the load was 610 long tons.
Oh my god, I farted and it stinks. Sorry. Sorry to interrupt you there.
Just for...
yeah, go on.
Sam, are you looking at Discord?
No.
Look at Discord and look in the screenshots channel.
Oh god.
What's happened? I can't see it. Right, I'm gonna have to go.
Look what's happened.
Oh crap! Stop!
I also like how somebody asked, "Are Reese and Guillaume brothers?" No.
Okay, I've overcooked it on this turntable. Oh, I might actually turn.
But yeah, so it was when it did these power trials, it was found that the power was frequently over 2,000 horsepower, with a maximum of 2,511 horsepower. Now, I'm not entirely sure how that. In fact, let's have a look. Let's see how that compares to some diesel traction.
Right, am I balanced? Yes, I am. Returning.
Okay. So yeah, comparing the Duchess then to
right round. You spin me right round, baby, right round. I'm just gonna keep spinning.
Kind of ironic that the West Somerset turntable in the Royal Scot, because of course Royal Scot went there. Did it go there originally? I'm pretty sure it was there at one point.
Okay.
Wasn't it Butlins?
Scott's Guardsmen originally went to Lworth Valley.
I thought the Royal Scot was at Butlins at Minehead at one point.
I think it.
One
I
of
don't
them
know.
was. I
think Royal Scot was at Butlins. Duchess of Sutherland, I think that were a Butlins.
That was a Butlins, yeah.
Duchess of Hamilton, I'm not sure what happened.
No, Duchess of Hamilton was always a National Collection engine, so...
Right,
Reese, why have you just turned
Princess
round
Elizabeth,
in a 360?
I've messed this up.
I just saw this watching the stream, and I'm suddenly like, okay.
Okay,
keep watching the stream because I left the brakes off as it was going around on the turntable.
Yeah, and so it just rolled backwards.
It rolled out of balance, and then I couldn't turn the turntable anymore. So now I'm actually turning it properly.
Oh my
God. Going back to this comparison of power lengths, the Duchesses, Coronation class, had a maximum of 2,511.
Oh my God, it's rolling forward.
The Deltics, which were diesels, which were designed to be, replacing all the steam, had 1,650 horsepower. That's the Duchess had what, almost 900 more?
Yeah.
So
the thing is, it's difficult because you could talk about power, but power and tractive effort and torque and all of that work in mysterious ways.
They do, and if you ever try actually working out any of this for a steam loco, it's so incredibly complicated.
because it's at specific, and even for diesels,
just-
because it's at specific RPMs and all of that.
The issue is there are so many variables. There are literally hundreds of variables.
Yeah.
You know,
The only thing that you could do was rolling roads, and they kind of got rid of that for after Steam. I know that the V2. I can't remember where. No, it wasn't the V2. It was one of the
Top Hat
Swindon.
Fellow- Sorry, just to interrupt. Top Hat Fellow has put a picture in Discord. Butlins, it was Skegness where Royal Scot went to.
Oh, Skeggy, right. Skeggy went to Royal to yeah, but didn't oh right, okay.
I
So
think-
it was at Butlins, but it was a Skeggy Butlins.
Yeah, there was Duchess of Sutherland went to a Butlins, and I think it were Princess Elizabeth as well.
So if you want to save a loco, take it to Butlins.
Well, it's interesting, really, isn't it? All of the sort of top-line LMS Express locos, the well-known ones and the big ones,
Oh no,
were
I've
saved
dropped my
by a holiday
Oreos.
park.
Yeah, they were. It's weird how preservation worked back then. Why have I now got a... Who's
Really
been...
is.
It's a shame they didn't have anything like, say, Barry Scrapyard that could have saved some.
Now, Barry Scrapyard, it is an interesting thing, but do you want to know something that'll annoy you,
What?
if you don't already know? First loco preserved from Barry Scrapyard was actually an LMS loco.
It was a 4F, wasn't it?
It was 43924. It's currently working on the Worth Valley in operational condition, more or less.
Oh, Top Hat
And it
Fellow...
is the only Midland Railway 4F in preservation. I think there's at least one more. I don't know if there's two more. But LMS built.
Top Hat Fellow has followed up with the Princess Margaret Rose was at Butlins Privelli,
Ah,
and I believe that must be Duchess of Sutherland with a Terrier at Minehead.
yes, I think it is. And I think, Duchess of Sutherland didn't have smoke deflectors when it went display.
No, that's the picture there.
But yeah, so there you go, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to
Thank you
preserve a
for-
locomotive, ask Butlins.
Thank you for those pictures, Mr. Top Hat Fellow. I've learnt something new today.
How many coaches have you got on, Reese?
None, I'm in the depot.
Well, how many are you going to be putting on? long
It's
is the
either
train?
7 or 8.
7 or 8. Right, I'm taking 11.
You've only got £170 of pressure, Reese.
I know. The blower is on. I'm shoveling like mad because we gotta make our return trip now. I'm also eating.
Right. That'll do for me. Right. 11 coaches in Bahamas, ready to depart.
Which route are you on?
Your route.
Oh,
Well, not your version of your route, but I'm at the same end as you and ready to go, so I'm going to...
are you
I'm
in the
going-
same platform?
No, I'm in the mainline platform. Because I have a longer, bigger train.
I was gonna say, are you gonna be stopping at all stations as well?
I could do.
Or are you just gonna go charging all the way to the end and just say, oh, I made it before you?
It's tempting. It's tempting.
Because I'm gonna stop at all stations on the way, so...
I suppose I should probably stop them.
except for the 2 request stops, I won't stop at them.
Basically, you're not stopping at the platforms where there's only one platform.
With exception to where the track splits to go to the docks, and there was...
Yes.
where the town on the original route didn't exist.
Yes. The ghost town.
Yes, that's the one.
The one that was destroyed in a nuclear apocalypse.
It was blown up. I was actually
Oh, blow-
thinking about adding a nuclear power plant or something into the over the hill story.
Who goes there? Oh, it's that man.
Who's that man?
That man is Chris, but he has his microphone and his headphones muted.
Oh.
So he's
It's the
here,
American.
but he's not actually here.
The American
No,
has arrived.
Not the
He's
American.
here.
It's
He's
flipping.
here.
Oh, he is American. I forget he's American because
Yep.
he makes all the Scottish stuff and he has a mustache.
He's here in spirit.
He's might be here, but he's not here. But he is here, but he isn't here. But he's gay.
Wow.
Okay, he's asking if he can be brought into the chat. Now,
He should be able to get into it.
he's
Well-
in the chat, but I don't think he can
Oh,
There he
There,
is.
Hey, there you go.
There he is.
I was going to
He's-
say, you should be able to get into it, Chris.
Well, the fact that he was actually here, I think he's yeah.
no, I'm here.
You
I didn't know if I could join or not.
Yeah.
are part of the group
He's
that is
still
allowed in here because
Oh, right.
because unlike I've actually set it up correctly for Reese, so that he doesn't have 800 people shouting penis at him. He just has me shouting penis at him, and that's enough.
Just one crazy person shouting penis at me.
Yes. Do you remember the days where I used to ruin every start of
Yes.
the video with the word
I
penis?
think you
Those are
ruined
some
about
great
50
days.
videos, literally one after the other after the other. Oh my god,
But it-
stop! There we go.
But it became a meme. I remember that really large race that we had, and like I just said penis, ruined the thing, and then you couldn't control the chat. You couldn't control the people because of that.
Okay,
It was
why
great.
why can I not couple up?
Reese demonstrates how to couple up properly.
I can't couple up. It literally will not couple up.
Oh my god.
Reese, do you think you'll ever have a stream where everything actually goes according
No,
to
I
plan?
don't think I will. It will not couple up. The icon is showing, but it will not actually. God. Right. Stupid, stupid thing. Right, okay, well this has not gone well. What should I do? Wonder if I
Bring up the hood. Have you brought up the hood?
Yeah, I tried that, it didn't work. It doesn't recognise that there's a train behind it.
Oh. It's not
Oh.
derailed, has it?
No, but this not if you. It'd be like, Reese, you've been a silly, and just die.
I don't know why it won't do the thing. Why? Stupid thing, why? Let's open the reg and just power it and see if that helps.
Oh yes, that's a brilliant idea.
Nothing's working.
Well, your options are give up, edit the scenario and plonk yourself in some new coaches.
Yeah, but then he would basically have to start back at Landirdog again.
Well, I mean, you could edit
Oh, he could actually add it
and
down there.
move
but,
it to the other side,
This is Reese, though.
or try something completely different.
Let's try a full of stern ram.
Oh, God.
No, that didn't work. Why?
How do you manage this every single time?
Why does this always seem to happen to me?
Pardon?
This is not fair.
Uh-oh.
Aw.
Is it... I hope it's... Is it... Am I lagging, or is Reese lagging?
Hello?
I can hear the lag as well.
Oh,
It's not fine
God.
to me.
Okay, I think I'm gonna have to do some,
Okay, Reese is lagging like a heck.
I don't know why that happens every now and then.
Oh, God.
Reese, you sound like a Dalek except for less legible. Well, not really legible because that's rewriting, but the equivalent with
Hello?
audio.
Hello?
Inaudible.
Hello?
Yeah, sure.
I've found a shortcut to couple up, but I don't think he can hear me.
Where is it? Okay, for the people watching the live stream, just let me know if you can still hear me.
To Brooklands.
Well, okay, so he can hear me fine on the stream,
I
but...
can hear you fine in Discord.
Oh,
Oh,
now
we
you
can hear
can.
you
You were
fine now.
lagging like balls for a while.
I think it might have been the internet.
There's control. I've looked in the manual, and apparently there's a couple manually, which is Shift Control C.
Yeah, I did that.
Oh, okay.
Right, so, after a quick look in the Discord and some research by some folks, it seems like the Minehead one was Duchess of Hamilton.
Oh, right, okay. So where did Sutherland go then?
I think Sutherland went to a camp as well.
Hmm.
Did he go to Auschwitz? I mean, what?
Wow.
That was not worth it. I'm sorry.
In fact, do you know what? I'm gonna have a quick look online.
What should
have
I
a quick
drive?
Google.
What should I drive back?
S160.
Something that can be a challenge.
Oh. Well, that's everything for Reese.
Well, that's
Bit
true,
unfair.
but
Have you ever driven an actual JT Advanced Loco properly?
Yes, I have. Actually,
Did
go
it-
on. I haven't driven the JTV2 on a stream before.
Well, drive that then.
We need
represent
to-
the LNER.
Where's just trains?
Here we are. Let's have a look. Yep. Ooh, Duchess of Sutherland went to Butlins in Scotland.
Hmm.
Oh, actually, we need to make a new
Well, thank
scenario.
you, Discord. That's actually quite
Hamilton-
useful.
I
Hamilton
think as far as the
Minehead.
live stream is concerned, we have sort of achieved what we set out to do. To showcase the Bossman Games Royal Scot.
And how not to drive it. I mean, what?
Oh. Yeah.
I love this. It has purple gas lamps and just incredible.
Bum bum ba da ba da ba da ba dum bum bum. I mean, I really like the V2. The one thing you have to be careful with the V2 is coasting with the reverser, because if you have the cutoff more than 25%, you'll blow out the middle cylinder. Because 3-cylinder loco things.
And I hate having to try and use consists because it never bloody works.
See, every time I do a scenario, I always use free roam and I always put it together myself.
Yeah. I think you've also got to... Don't you have to tick the button for Matrix? Oh, no. Oh, do a freight one, Reese.
Go on then.
Do a freight to the docks with it. That'll be good.
Oh,
'Cause-
this is beautiful. Great Western wagons on an LNER loco. This is beautiful.
Oh yeah, because
Oh.
there's that scenario with the, I think with that comes with it that has it on Exeter to Kingswear.
Where's Green Arrow? There we go. Nope, it won't work.
What do you mean?
For some reason I can't have Green Arrow. I want Green Arrow.
Have you actually pressed play on the scenario, or
No.
because sometimes that the nameplates don't actually load in until you've play.
I think it means you can't actually select the loco to edit it. No, you can.
Yeah, change it to 4771.
I got it. I saw Green Arrow the other day, actually. You guys
I don't
still
really
there?
get the hype around that engine.
It is pretty.
It's pretty, but that's
Not the
about it.
prettiest. There's nicer locos too.
Okay, Just Trains Advanced. Alright.
I think it's more it's
Can I make a suggestion, Reese? You turn on the automatic fireman.
No. Oh yeah, for some reason the reverser is like the wrong way.
I think the automatic fireman is automatically on everywhere, isn't it?
Right. Reese, does this mean you're now doing a through train instead of a stopping one?
Yes, but it's freight.
Right, I'm going to stop anyway. And see if I can still actually beat you.
Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens indeed.
I probably should have set the points first.
Might have been a good idea. My favourite thing about driving this loco is setting off.
Oh my god,
What?
doing like 40 mile an hour. Well, that might be an overreaction, but
Yeah, they're nippy off the blocks. Good old mixed traffic engines. You've got some of the cocks open. just watching the stream and there's all this. Oh.
Right, let's turn train sim down a bit because Bahamas is deafening me.
oh right, we're heading back to the docks.
There we go, that'll do nicely.
I actually made it on the correct line this time. We're doing a wartime special, I think.
Right, and let's shut off at line speed.
So how's the new job going, Reese?
Yeah, really good, thanks. I'm out on the river again tomorrow.
Oh, right. So what do you do?
Drive ships.
Oh, so pretty much the same as your other job.
Well, no, I mean it is slightly different. Basically, I used to work on board, so I was an officer of the watch. So I'd be on the ship and then driving it for 8 hours a day. Whereas
Right.
now I'm training to be a pilot, so instead of driving it for 8 hours of the day, when the ship comes into port, I'll go out on a little boat, I'll go up to the bridge and then drive it in with my local knowledge and experience, and then get off and go home. So it's
Oh,
basically
right.
all the fun stuff about navigation and ship handling, which I love, but without having to live on board for 4 months at a time,
Oh, right.
which
Which
was
is-
what sucked before.
Well, it's not such a bad thing then.
No, it's much better than before. Because
I bet the missus is nice to have you around all the time now.
Yeah, exactly. 'Cause I absolutely love ship handling. That's like one of my main loves in life is ship handling. I really love it.
Isn't that illegal? Couldn't you get arrested for handling a ship too much? It's sexual
gonna say,
harassment, is it not?
Don't tell your wife.
Operation U Tree is coming for you.
Oh god. Okay, my lubricators are not going around correctly. I think these wheels are supposed to spin. Well, alright, this live stream hasn't exactly gone to plan in the last bit, but alright.
You got halfway there.
Well, I suppose you could say, I mean, it wasn't really my fault, or the fault of the game, or the Bossman Games Royal Scot. Yes,
it wasn't
I nearly
the fault.
said- I nearly
was-
said Patriot, I'm sorry.
It wasn't the fault. It was
Again.
kind of the fault of you. You
It wasn't
left.
though, was it?
You left the
Yeah, but we're playing
injector
you
on.
anyway.
Oh, well, that was a braking issue, but I'm talking about the the coupling up. For some reason, I couldn't couple up to that coach.
Sometimes that happens, and I found if I unload, press, go to World Editor and then press play from there again, it sometimes works. It's like if you're in a free roam and you try to select another loco, and it doesn't work, I find that fixes it, and I don't know why it does it. Then again, also, I've had issues with the Matrix Trains coaches sometimes where you can't couple up.
What's the head code for a freight train?
Jeff. Hang on a minute, I'll find out for you.
It's one at the top,
we're
one
carrying
on the
fish.
What head codes are you at?
What head code is a fish train?
A head code? What head code is a fish train? Let me find out.
I believe it's one at the top, one on the right.
It depends on whether it's an express passenger? Passenger, yes.
Passenger service.
I wouldn't really call fish passengers, to be honest, but, you know.
It depends if they're alive or not, surely.
I suppose it depends if they're dead, or if they smell.
Right.
So
like
you're
most
saying
of the
if you smell,
passengers
you
on the
don't
ships
count
I
as...
worked on, they smelled like fish.
Parcels, parcels and fish, etc. head code, Class C. One lamp on the bottom right and one lamp on the bottom centre.
Bottom right, bottom centre. That's exactly what I got.
Right.
One lamp at the top is ordinary head passenger code. Through freight head code, one lamp Class H, lamp at the top centre and lamp at the bottom centre. Interesting. K, pickup goods, Class K, white lamp bottom left.
Let's see if I can catch up to Reese.
I thought you'd already set off.
I have, but I'm stopping at stations.
Oh.
What speed are you doing?
I'm doing 40 line speed. I'm not going to speed, I'm just going to maintain line speed. Sounds like Helmand Province outside my house again.
Right, well you've just gone out of the tunnel, I've gone into it, going off the live stream.
Which means you're much further behind.
Yep. It's fine, I'll just ignore the speed limit a bit.
Oh cool, I'm in this Great Western Toad.
Toad!
Oh, sorry, Mr. Oliver. Sorry.
What was that? What was that?
That was Toad.
It was a brilliant impression.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
What's my boiler water level? Oh, it's alright. It's only about to explode.
Yeah, that's fine.
Going to explode his bladder.
It's the first time we've ever seen a V2 on this route.
I like driving the V2 and the K4, to be honest. I am slightly biased, but
I'm actually liking it as well. It is.
To be fair, if you have you got not West Highland, not the West Highland extension, the other one, the second one they did.
Yes, I do, but I've never driven it.
If you have the K4, some of the scenarios for that are quite nice. Just driving it up and driving them down there, I would recommend that if you get a chance to. And some of the V2 scenarios in general, because there is that one. There's the one where where you take a V2 on Exeter to Kingswear during the war. So
oh yeah,
which is quite nice. And one on. There's a couple of preserved ones for Green Arrow, and there's a couple on the Weardale and Teesdale network.
Weardale.
The one thing that annoys me in somewhat about the JT scenarios is that they most of the time they don't have a lot of AI. So I usually just add a load more afterwards. But
Well, the
then again, it
problem
doesn't.
is like 32-bit though, or 34-bit.
Yeah. Although I could push it a bit further
Why
on
is there steam
32-bit.
leaking out of the right-hand side of my loco?
Have you done what I've told you not to do?
There's steam leaking out of the right-hand side of my engine.
Yeah,
Where?
sounds like you've done a silly. Yeah, you've done a silly.
What do you mean I've done a silly?
Didn't I tell you right at the start? If you're ever coasting on the with the loco, you have to put the reverser at lower than 25%.
Why?
You've not had the
Yes,
because
you did say that.
I did say that, and you haven't done it because because with a 3-cylinder loco, it can cause there's somewhat weird, something with the vacuums in the cylinders, so you can actually blow out the middle cylinder.
Oh, so I've basically
So
killed it. Have I killed it?
You've killed it. You can still drive it, but you killed it basically.
So you're telling me I've killed this V2 already?
Yes.
Because I was going to say I'm handling the speed absolutely perfectly, but that's it with a killed engine.
Yeah, you need to drop you'd need to have dropped the reverser down to about 25%. There is actually even a warning plaque in the cab of the locos as
I
well.
don't believe it. Where?
Maybe it's just on the preserved one, but
There
it
is
should
no
be by the
warning.
reverser.
Oh wait, hang on, what's that? Coasting cut off. Damn it! Damn it! Yeah, I've killed it.
Good job.
Okay. So,
Well,
And that
I
could
guess that makes
explain.
it easier for me then.
Okay. Yeah. This sucks.
Someone's just put in the chat, you've just solved all of my problems with the V2. Yeah, that's one of the most important things of a 3-cylinder loco, is if you're coasting, drop the reverser to below 25%,
So,
above a certain speed. I think it's
See,
above 25 or something.
Does this apply to heritage? No, not to heritage. To LMS locos as well? Because
I
I've never
bel-
heard of that before.
I believe it's just on 3 cylinders.
Well, I mean, isn't Royal Scot 3-cylinder? I know
Yeah.
Jubilee's a 3-cylinder.
Are they?
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I've never heard of it on them.
It could then just be a quirk with the conjugated valve gear.
I was gonna say it could just be an LMER thing,
It could be, yeah.
or the type
I
of
know it's-
valve gear.
I know that you should do it on some standards as well, but most of them are 2-cylinder.
Hmm.
I think I don't know.
oh my god, I'm running away.
Pfft.
Okay, I've just locked up completely. We are now skidding into Pennyog. Wheel flats for everybody. Full reverse thrust.
Join today to get your free complimentary wheel flats.
Oh my god, race.
Brakes on.
Okay, so I'm actually not that far behind now. Because that tunnel you're just going through on the live stream, I'm just going through now myself.
I'm going horrendously too fast.
See, I'm not. I'm going 30 miles an hour and slowly slowing down. And I'm now going 25, nice and gently for the speed limit.
Alright, yeah. So there's a lot of steam coming out of that central cylinder now.
Well, approximately a third of all the steam that's going
Although
to
I'm still picking up speed pretty quick, even though I've killed the middle cylinder.
Yeah, you can still use it, it's just damaged. So you could still make it to the end, but
Go on, I'm just gonna keep going. I'm not gonna give up. Green Hour is like that, dying pony. He just wants to keep going.
Is this a specific dying pony or a generic dying
Generic
pony?
dying pony. In fact, we're gonna go shoot a pony in the leg just to say we've got a dying pony. We're back to killing horses again.
how have we gone? How have we done a like?
I think
We've
it's
gone
just a
full
certain
circle.
area on this route because it happened at the same area last time. So there must be some form of trigger moment here on this route.
That brings back traumatic memories.
Yeah, it's post-traumatic stress disorder. I must have been driving this route and hit a horse, and ever since then I want to kill all horses. Oh my goodness!
Ooh. So someone's just said, so we've replicated the real thing.
What, that we've killed the central cylinder?
Yep. Doesn't Green Arrow need a new central cylinder?
I think it needs a whole new cylinder block, doesn't it?
It's a whole. It's the whole monoblock in the middle. It's the argument of the amount of money it's going to cost to make a new one. For that, it's really stupid as well.
Already committed to it.
They haven't. They never did. People
the P2 needed a very similar one.
No, it's weird. This is the really daft thing. Green Arrow, a load of the V2s were rebuilt under VR to stop the same issue that Green Arrow just had happening. And Green Arrow never got rebuilt. The daft thing is, if Green Arrow had been rebuilt with this proper, with the way that they'd done it, then it probably would still be in Steam. But of course, they didn't. They didn't do it to all the V2s.
But let's be honest, it's just a grisly pile of wank at the end of the day.
Ha!
Yay!
Hashtag Fowler. Hashtag Stanier. Hughes.
Call
Yeah.
out.
LMS.
LMS superiority.
No.
Sorry, it's like, let me get the saying right. Miss, LMS, the best way.
What?
The best way. LMS is the best way.
Yeah, is the
It's
way.
it's their motto. It is the best way.
Best way what? To end up at the back of a siding, upside down, on fire?
Only if you're driving.
To be fair, yeah. You could drive anything, Reese, and break it.
Well, I've killed a V2 now.
You've killed the Royal Scot, killed a V2.
No, I didn't kill the Royal Scot. That was
You did.
Train
Killed a
Simulated.
Royal
No, that was
Scot.
Train Simulated that did that.
Brakes. You broke the brakes.
I did.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, that was actually, yeah.
I didn't break the brakes. No, but
You just primed the damn thing.
I primed it so it got water into the brakes.
So you broke it.
Yes, I broke it.
And only thanks to me and Sam did you actually manage to get it going again.
You know, since you're driving advanced engines today, for D again.
You know, Reese, you know when we're doing this this long run challenge,
Yeah.
we need to do two versions of it. We need to do a rail tour version and we need to do a Cornish Riviera version. We need to do the Cornish Riviera with the whole 14 coach heavy haul thing, and then we need to do the we need to do a rail tour version with advanced locos only.
Well, we have to have sorry, tankers. Oh shit. Water tankers. I don't think I'm putting any water in the boiler.
Tankers
So-
filled with chocolate.
Because I'm
You
literally
can't-
been
you
shoveling and
can't
nothing is
you-
happening.
You can't use the hood.
You've blown out the middle cylinder.
You can't
You've
use the hood
emptied
with
the boiler.
Oh my.
Why can't I put any water in? Oh, there we go. It's working.
Oh my god.
You can't use the hood with advanced locos. This. Why? Oh,
There you are. Water's going in now.
Jesus Christ.
We're good. It's all good.
Right.
Right.
Don't you have to like set the injectors like this right for it to work?
Not on these.
Well,
It's
it's
usually-
making
it's-
the noise, so
It's pretty much set for where it should be.
I prefer the K4s to be honest over the V2s.
I
K4 is really fun to drive.
Yeah, the K4 is brilliant.
Reese, have
Reese
you
is
ever
bit-
driven the K4?
not on a live stream. I think I've driven it once when I bought it.
You should do
Did
that.
you do a
thing.
West Highland line?
Yeah, that's what that's what I was saying. If you do one of the West Highland, the longer West Highland one, because it's different.
The south extension one.
Yeah, the south one, because it's a bit longer for a run.
It's a bit boring though after a while. You're just surrounded by trees.
Hmm.
Tell you what is a nice route, the Puckmark-Ezekon Penrith route.
It is. It's just very old now.
It is old, but it's still a nice route. It's a challenging route as well. It's a very long 160.
I still need to download it. I can't be bothered to download the 50,000 assets it requires.
Yeah, that is, I think, the biggest issue I have with it. I still haven't got all the assets for it. I just gave up on getting them all and decided to do a load of modifications myself. See, UKTS is good, but it's not great for stuff like that.
No.
NK Productions, the West Highland line is terrible. It's empty everywhere past the track. Yeah, it's called Scotland.
All the
That's what it's like in the Highlands.
Ach, I then you.
Scottish Ivor.
Hashtag Scottish Ivor.
That's what? I'm so confused.
You missed it in the last live stream. We came up with Scottish Ivor.
I'm definitely
Nice.
putting bagpipes on the next Cal engine I make, whenever that is.
It's gotta be done. It's gonna be so brilliant.
Hey Chris, if you're making the Pacific,
Right?
if it's a fictional lurker, because well, I say fictional, and it was never actually made, but it was designed.
Concept.
Yeah, bagpipes on that wouldn't be a bad idea.
Oh, that's brilliant.
You'd have like 30 whistles, but one of them would be like the whole Scotland the Brave song.
Got to be a completely random one as well, though.
Yeah, so
You
you
never
could
know.
go on for, you could go for age for like weeks without hearing it, and then suddenly it would appear, and you would be like, "Did I actually hear that?" So you'd press the whistle button again, and it'd just be a normal whistle, and you'd
Oh,
be so
you drive
confused.
so many people mad.
It's like a 5-minute song.
It's like if I was like, you know, all these German cars and everything that come up with like messages to saying you should wind your window down and all of this. I would if I was on that, I would get messages that would occasionally come up with like, you have done nothing with your life, and you wouldn't know, and you would look back and like it would just be normal messages. You would never know.
Replace it with the
Play it, like once every few years though, or a few months, or just long enough that you would forget between it saying.
Yeah, and then suddenly it would come up with a pop-up again saying Hitler's going to come back and take over the world, and you'd be very
What
confused.
the hell? There's assets missing from this route.
Is there?
The bridge is missing.
I think
Literally.
you haven't. I'm pretty sure you haven't got all the assets. For
No,
the
I
route.
had that asset. It was there. It's been removed.
You
Oh.
must have removed it.
No,
then.
something's happened to this. Something's happened to my train sim. That was
Good
there in the
attempt,
last
dumb.
live stream. Honestly,
Right.
I think that was there in the
It was.
last live stream.
Right. You know this issue we were having with the scenario earlier.
look.
I've got a feeling.
Signals missing.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that it's not the scenario, it's your train sim. Because if some assets are going missing and your signal's going missing, there's something not right here.
No, it's
happens all the time in real life Wales.
Well, the signal's going missing.
Yeah, because
someone
someone's
just
just come
nicks a
and nick-
bridge.
Yeah. Sell it down the scrapyard.
Yerd.
Yard.
Yerd.
Dirty, dirty, dirty.
Right, I better slow down for this station.
I'm stopping in the station.
And on that note, I'm going to disappear and leave you all to it.
Okie dokie.
Well,
Have
screw you
fun.
then.
Well,
See ya
no,
later.
I'd rather you didn't.
Why are you going?
Because I have to do stuff.
It's got a wank.
It's no nut November.
Oh yeah.
Well, I can't
Enough
do
to-
that. If I could, I would have already done it over the Royal Scot, so you know.
Oh god, I've overfilled the boiler.
Anyway, goodbye!
Bye.
See ya. So, you have blown out the middle of a cylinder,
I've killed this
almost
B2.
dropped the fusibles, primed,
And I've got wheel flats as well. Yeah, I'm really not doing well with this V2 today.
Yeah, that's like the few passengers I have on and off.
I think I'm just going to have to get to the docks and then declare this loco a failure. No, don't tell me we're going down the wrong platform again. No, we're not. It's correct. I don't know why that signal is saying that.
NK Production says, "Oh my god, it's Leslie, he stole the assets."
It must have been Leslie. There is no other possible explanation.
Isn't Leslie in this scenario?
No, because I had to make a new scenario. My head has just been twatted by the signal that I just passed. Now
right,
I'm priming.
Well, I'm stopped just after the bridge, so I'm just going to set off again.
I'm going to open my drain cocks because pretty sure I'm going to explode some cylinders if I carry on like this.
You already have.
All right, well let's get this fish to the ships.
Woof. 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 Full power.
My 3-cylinder loco is now a 2-cylinder loco.
What power class will the V2 use in VR days?
No idea.
10F.
I was hoping to do some form of shunting, but I think because my loco is virtually a failure.
There's hardly any loco left to
So we've
shunt
got
with.
wheel flats, 2 cylinders, priming.
Almost dropping the fusible.
No, we didn't drop the fusible.
Your water were getting pretty low.
No.
I think you'd be fired if this was real life.
Oh my god, what's that noise?
If it was
He broke the valve gear. Just snapped like a twig.
I think the valve gear just exploded.
Imagine the animation on that if that was the thing.
that
You
would
see
be
rods
beautiful.
flying.
I think you can actually go full Blue Peter on one of the Just Trains. Is it the Britannia
I think
or
it's the Clan.
Clan? You can actually go
Yeah.
full Blue Peter. In fact, at the end of this live stream, I'm going to go full Blue Peter on it. I'll load it in.
Should take it on Seaberg Bond.
This poor engine, poor Green Arrow. What happened to Green Arrow in real life? It got fucked by the angry Welshman.
It mysteriously vanished one day after being driven on the Penarth Valley Railway.
See, now I'm looking at my gauge glasses and I'm not priming. But according to my little boiler water level thing, I'm supposed to be priming.
Oh god. So,
And
ladies
running
and
out
gentlemen,
of steam. Which
it's
is,
Remembrance Day tomorrow, so please take a moment to remember all the locos that have died being driven by this.
all the poor engines that have died on this channel. We need like a montage with that Adele song. I will remember you.
We'd have to put it on loop a few times, I think.
Probably.
Or we could put Queen, Another One Bites the Dust over it.
That's more appropriate, I feel.
Then Another One Bites the Dust.
What region is this route supposed to be anyway?
That is up for a lot of debate amongst railway circles.
Personally, I would say it's London North Western, deep within Great Western.
I think the guy that made it originally did intend it to be London and North Western. However, it has basically become whatever anyone is. It's almost
It's basically Sodor.
It's the island of Sodor. Yeah, that is literally what it's become. So it could be any.
I thought it was
region
like
that you
supposed
want.
to be Wales.
No, I mean it's not. It wasn't built to be Wales, but I kind of pikeyed it and turned it into Wales.
And then, of course, most people who have the route have it through you anyway, so just sort of go off what you say.
I don't think the guy that developed the route was particularly pleased that I kind of said, "Oh, this is in Wales." He kind of went, "Well, what the fuck?" You know.
You have just hijacked his route, essentially, haven't you?
Yeah, but to be fair, I will be perfectly fair and defend myself. I've never claimed it's my route.
No, that's true. You have never claimed it, but
I've never claimed once that this is my route. I've said it's a modified version of the S-Wave branch. Alright, I probably haven't given it as much credit as it deserves, but I didn't ever claim it to be my own, and I will never release it publicly as the the Llandiadog and Pennyog route, because it's not, it's just for filming.
To be fair, it's probably one of the most famous like freeware routes because it's your.
I have seen a few YouTube videos where people have said, "Oh my god, I've only got 120 pounds of fire of boiler pressure." Let's get that blower on.
you really are killing it, aren't you?
I'm literally murdering this V2.
Is it? You know what? You should see how much you can fuck it up before it becomes completely and totally unusable.
Yeah, I'm gonna rename this live stream "How to Murder a V2."
After the Royal Scot.
It's Bossman Games product placement - How to Murder a V2.
You just need to rename it "How Not to Drive Locomotives."
Yeah. Hey, no, that's not fair. Actually, with the the Royal Scot, I drove it really well up until I fucked up with the brakes.
Everyone's talking about
this is
Patriots.
it. You were doing really well until you weren't.
Yeah, basically.
It's like Anakin Skywalker killing the younglings. He was a brilliant Jedi until he killed all the younglings. Well, the Sand people. There's various things you can pick up on, but
Right.
Is anyone excited about the Patriot?
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. Oh my god, this is
God's
gonna
sake.
stink. Oh my god, gee. Oh my god, that is foul.
Live stream.
Seriously, guys, if I fall unconscious while driving this V2, then that is a very real
All you hear is like a
possibility.
smack on the desk
As I fall unconscious at the helm.
and a plat on the floor because he shat himself.
Oh, Nathan is asking about the original Llandiadog and Pennyog route. It is available. It is.
It's on the Facebook page, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's on the Facebook group, but it hasn't been developed since I put it there, which is already like 5 years or something.
Isn't it? I think I downloaded it. Isn't it just like
With the hellish
Track.
gradients.
Yeah,
And a few-
it was the first route I ever worked on in Rail Simulator, like even before Railworks came out. That's how old it is. And it started off with me literally just putting some track down and building some platforms and going, hey, I'm building a route. And then I modified it so many times that
It's got like a 1 in 3 gradient.
Yeah, it was like experimenting for the sake of experimenting. But
Speaking
over
of,
the years of adding, sorry to interrupt, so like,
No, it's fine.
adding so many different assets from UK Train Sim and being a rail simulator route, it just became unusable. However, Nathan actually has a good point. Maybe now with 64-bit, I wonder if it's worth bringing it back, having a look at it.
Could be.
I think when I first joined AWP, you were still on that route.
Yeah, I think so. I actually filmed Over the Hills episode 1 on that route. And because I was using fraps, the footage just was not usable.
I think the first video I watched was you driving the B12 on that route.
Either the B12
when it
or
came
the
out?
B1. It might have been the B1. I've literally got no boiler pressure.
God. Yeah, speaking of 1 in 3 gradients, we should check out Trolley Fodder's route again, the narrow gauge one, because he has done a lot of updates to it recently and it's virtually almost all finished now. I think he's got a bit of work left to do at the quarry, he's got a few bits of scenery to stick up there, but otherwise it's done now.
Well, I suppose if it's... because he did tell me a couple of days ago that he'd finished messing around with it, so I suppose after this stream I could... oh, actually, I won't finish the stream, I'll load it up and we can have a look at it. Right, I've just shoveled about 400 tons of coal onto this fire.
I think the main differences from when you looked is just all the gaps have been filled in now. It's now a complete block of scenery the whole way through.
Yeah.
And the town, I think the town has got to be the most densely populated scenery block in Train Sim.
Well,
He's got over 9,000 assets in one block. 9,000.
Temp dump central.
It's just the detail is
God.
phenomenal. But yeah, see, 64-bit seems to be able to handle it. I mean, it can handle my 8K texture Jubilee, so...
Okay, this is weird. Every time I press Control and 1, or any control button to add or remove lamps, it goes back to my desktop. What the heck is that about?
I know I can't use Control 5 on any of mine, because that's the command for turning on and off the fan on my laptop.
Okay, shift. Oh, we gotta go below 25% cut off. Because otherwise, apparently, we'll kill the third cylinder again.
I think it's a bit late for that. I don't think it really matters if you have...
Anymore.
You have no third cylinder left to kill anymore.
This loco is going to be declared a failure after this live stream anyway.
I think it's already a fail. I mean, you know what? You're taking it to the docks to be shipped off for scrap
Yeah,
somewhere.
we're sending it to China to be cut up. Sorry, Green Arrow, but you're going to China.
I found something for you, Sam.
Yes.
In the locos chat. There you go.
Ooh.
Something for the Keithley and Worth Valley route when it comes out.
I gotta be honest, this does look good.
76079, and that looks like Vulcan in the background in blue.
With Bitch Grove.
Bitch Grove.
Bitch Grove. Yeah, one
Oh
of
yeah,
these
speaking of
lamps
the
are on.
speaking of the Worth Valley route, that's getting along a bit now. There's been quite a few improvements and modifications since the last time it was publicly shown off.
I'm looking forward to it, actually. I want to do a live stream when it comes out.
Need a coal tank?
We need coal tank. We do need coal
It
tank.
would be lush to have a coal tank. It would make me so happy. I.e. Super D and coal tank, double heading. Oh.
And I'm just gonna put it out here now. If anyone wants to make coal tank for Train Simulator, please do let me know, because as a volunteer at BLS, I will be happy to help you out with any of the drawings and references we have. And of course, access to recording as well. Although I think Cresside and Green got a few recordings
Yeah.
for it.
I already paid for the recordings.
Yeah. So again,
She'll
if
be on
you
the
want
Cornwall.
recordings, talk to Chris.
Yeah, Nathan is asking about the narrow gauge route and do a Blue Peter on Britannia. I don't know whether I think it'll probably be the Clan rather than Britannia. Although I think the Britannias do the wheel slip animation, don't they?
I think they all do, but I think that it's the Clan that actually breaks the valve gear.
I'm wondering if this V2 will, but yeah, we'll see. Let's get it to the docks. There's not much further to go. I just want it to get there now, like just to prove that it can survive.
Just to prove, if you blow up your engine, it doesn't mean you can't still drive it.
Yeah, all this engine declared failure bollocks. This V2 has got guts. It's literally been shot in the foot. I bet it's still going.
It did have guts, but you blew the guts out of it.
Exactly, so it's a gutless prick now. Does anyone remember saying that Reese would add the link to Discord in the description? I've said that for the last 2 or 3 live streams, and I keep forgetting, so I'm sorry. Alright, let's do some injecting. Oh my god.
So what do you guys think of the Patriot progress?
The actual one?
Yeah, the real one.
It
looks good. I noticed.
It looks really good.
Did have to have a laugh at the using the crab's tender for it though. I didn't know that.
Oh, is it the crab's tender?
It's if you have a look, 13065. It's the crab's tender. I'm assuming they've just borrowed it while the crab's having its boiler fixed.
I did think the numbers were a bit weird on the tender.
It's a different shade of red as well.
You know the boiler that they fit into that Patriot? Is that like going to be the actual boiler, or is that just?
I think so. Yeah, I think they had to have a new boiler made for it, I believe, because
That's the official boiler.
Is it a brand new boiler? Is it?
Yeah.
Where did they have it built then?
Was it British made? I think.
I don't know. It says
I
on the
don't
side
know.
of it, doesn't it? Is it CMMS or something like that? It says inside of it.
I'll have to look
I know
into
it's
that
British
because
built.
I didn't think we could build boilers anymore.
Well,
Certain places do.
I
I
think
knew we could build traction engine boilers, but I didn't think they would do anything as big as a standard gauge loco. Because when they built Tornado's boiler, they had to do it in Germany.
I think independent contractors can do it.
yeah, I think the facilities to build a locomotive in this country do still exist. They're just very rare and not
Expensive.
specialised in it anymore, so it means they are expensive.
Oh god, I gotta slow down.
I think it
Considering
can
this
be
is
done,
my
it's just
route-
not easy.
Considering this is my route, I'm really not very route knowledged. Oh god, wheel slip. More wheel flats for Green Arrow.
Yeah, I love how you're having such a chaotic journey, but I'm still happily rolling along in Bahamas. I mean, I'm on the home stretch now, I've only got one more station to go.
The wheel slip. There's wheel lock.
It's just skidding.
Well, he flattened one side of the wheels, he's just levelling it out.
Does it actually flatten in?
No, it's just
No,
the
but it would-
visual thing, isn't it?
It would be nice, wouldn't it?
I would
Yeah,
have
but-
expected it would just trans.
The loco would just be like badunk, badunk, badunk as it rolls along.
See, we have, on the Worth Valley, we have 2 diesel rail buses, and there were 5 of them built, 4 in preservation, and we have 2 on the Worth Valley. One's working and one's under restoration. And essentially, it's like a 1-car pacer, but it looks prettier. And the ride is just, it's incredibly amusing. Every time you go over a joint in the track, the whole vehicle sort of bounces up and down. So it's like being in a vehicle with square wheels or triangular wheels. And it's just, every time it goes clickety-clack, it just bounces. It's absolutely hilarious.
I've got to say that this V2 on Great Western Fish Vans is just looking really nice. But then I've always said that like a Great Western loco on, LNER teak coaches, anything on teak coaches. looks
Everything looks so good on Teaks.
And I would like for proper teaks to be made, because I don't mean any offence to Matrix trains, but the teaks, the textures just don't look right for me.
See, I actually like the Matrix trains.
Oh, most Matrix trains products I love, but it's just the teaks. I just find the actual teak textures, I don't know, there's just something off about it. Maybe it's just my eyes, but it just doesn't seem to fit right.
Rest in peace to the track crew again.
Yep, they're all dead.
Again.
No, I'm not saying it just to like complain and all, but
Yeah.
it just doesn't look right.
It's acquired
See,
taste.
Yeah, exactly.
For me, I don't actually like the Bresla coaches themselves. I don't think.
Get out.
No.
Just get out.
I don't think they'd look as nice as they could do. I mean, it's just the design of the coach with Latique. It's
See,
Well,
but I
the
prefer
fourth
Matrix
one.
trains Teaks over GT's ones though.
I'd have to compare them. I can't
See, I
remember
think-
what they were like actually.
I don't
used to
know. Some of
drive
my favourite coaches in Train Sim are actually the Caledonian Railway ones by DT.
Oh, they are pretty.
Well, with
Because
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, the inside of them coaches is absolutely brilliant. And I kind of like that sort of cartoony style to it. I mean, for me personally, Train Sim is a simulator, not real. And because of sort of all the scenery that goes with it, I like engines and stock that look good and match the scenery rather than...
I get
try-
your point. Yeah, it's better to have it matching the rest of the textures in game rather than it being like photorealistic textures. Is that what you mean?
Pretty much, yeah.
Need to calm down,
So-
James Green.
But again, it's
Realism.
all personal preference. Yeah, which is why if you have a look at any of my respins, none of them look realistic to look at, but they all look good in game.
Yeah.
I need to have a go at proper weathering for locos as well. I mean, I did that 04, but that 04 was literally, it was a aerial picture of a desert, photoshopped onto the top of the actual texture and then dimmed down. So the weathering on my 04 is not actually weathering at all, it's a desert. There you go, fun fact for you.
I would actually like to see a West Coast joint stock carriage pack in game.
Vulcan Productions did some West Coast reskins.
I mean, like the old ones, not like the newer ones.
Oh no, these are the Mark 1 coaches.
Oh right, yeah, bleh. Mark 1s are so overrated.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
That's true, they are.
They are, but I mean, there's a reason for that as well.
Yeah, but they're
Which
like
is because
utilitarian.
People have terrible taste.
They are useful. You gotta remember, you know, like even cunts are useful.
yeah, I like the vintage stock we have on the Werthaler. We have a nice selection.
Oh god, I'm picking up speed again.
With the lanky coaches.
It's nice, particularly the lanky stock, because we can actually put on a somewhat decent-sized LMY train. We've got an LMY loco we can use, and I think we've got 5 carriages in operation now, LMY ones, out of which 4 of them are actually railway owned or used. One of them's privately owned and hardly ever gets used.
Need the ironclad back.
It's undergoing overhaul as we speak.
How long has it been out of ticket?
I don't know, a few years. I think 2013 is the date that's sticking in my mind, but then that's sticking in my mind for everything going out of ticket, so it's probably not that, but...
It seems like it was forever.
It's been a while, but I remember it running, so I'd say it's got to have been some time within the last 10 years it went out.
Could you imagine a gala with the ironclad, the Aspinall, the saddle tank, the pug,
They did
and
it once.
the Aspinall tank?
They did it with everything that they have that still works, which turned out to be 957 and the Class 27 at the ELR.
But they didn't do the saddle tank and the
Because
pug
the saddle
and
tank
the
hasn't
Aspinall
run.
tank.
The saddle tank hasn't run in years.
80s, I think.
Yeah, it's not run in my lifetime, and I don't think the pug has either.
The pug ran in the early 2000s, I believe.
There was
Oh,
2
it might have
pugs
been.
running because they did a photo charter.
Which was the other pug?
Oh,
Oh,
they
it
did-
was Trojan, wasn't it?
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of I'm thinking of the Lancashire and Yorkshire pugs.
Yeah, that's the one we're talking about.
Yeah, there was 2 of them that were running.
There's only one, though.
No, there's 2.
No, there is 2. There's one on the Worth Valley, and I think the other one's at Ribble Steam Rail, I think.
Wait, there's 2 lanky pugs?
Yes,
Yeah.
there was a photo
don't
charter
think-
done, and
I
they
don't
had
think
both
either of them
there.
works. I don't know
They
if there's
did
any more,
one.
but I think
One
there's
of them-
definitely one on the Worth Valley, and there's definitely one. I think it's Ribble that has it.
Well, there is 2. I didn't know that. I thought there was just the one at Keithley.
Yeah.
A shame not one of them's running.
We do have a lot of unique stock at the Worth Valley, though.
Oh,
have
one's under
particular-
one's under overhaul.
But yeah, we have the only 280 WD. We have 957. We have Taff Bale 85.
That's just a beast.
Taff Bale 85 is mega. We've
What,
got
the Taff-Ale tank.
Yep. We've got Bahamas, which is unique in its double chimney. We've got
And it's 8K textures.
8K. Woohoo! The file site, it's like 82. Something like that. It's massive. It's a very large file size. But yes, Worth Valley, it has a lot of unique rolling stock. Only Midland Railway built 4F in preservation.
Which
Great
never
West.
carries Midland Railway.
Well, that's because the guy who looks after it is a bit funny with it, but...
It's gonna be BR Black.
Well, there's the Vintage Carriages Trust have a Midland Railway 6-wheel carriage which they're currently restoring, and their currently pestering the railway to try and get him to put the 4F into Midland Railway livery to go with that carriage.
There hasn't been a Midland 4F in preservation, I don't think.
I don't know, it's definitely
And
been
livery-wise.
LMS, but I don't think it's been Midland.
There's really not anything in Midland Railway livery running, I don't think.
No, it's all Midland Railway stuff's all museum stock.
Yeah. I mean, the spinner's out, 158's out. The 1F is out, but I don't think that ever carried Midland Railway livery. I don't even know if that's Midland Railway.
I think it was. I think the only thing to carry Midland Railway livery is well, closest you've got to it, I think, is the Crab, which is
but that's not really Midland engine though.
No, it's still LMS, but
that's like a Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway engine more than Midland because it's Hughes.
Yeah, it's a funny one, is that, because it was built at a bit of an odd time. I think it was built sort of during the transition period, wasn't it? So it was built as LMS.
Very early LMS.
It was built as LMS,
swear,
but
though,
it wasn't intended to be.
If there's a Crab ever made in Train Sim, I would pester the shit out of the developer to put it in lanky livery.
Or make it so it can be reskinned into it.
I think you need the completely animated steam chest. Or the completely simulated steam chest. That's
now you need animated shovels.
So actually, that is the most important thing in Train Simulator. Without that, you're nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, I know this is not really prototypical operations, but we're gonna just sort of do a loop at the docks just for the pure shits and giggles.
Right. Reese, I am stopped at the other end, so I'm going to log out of the scenario and I'm going to try and load in the narrow gauge route.
Yeah, I was gonna do that in a minute. I'm just gonna sort of do a loop at the docks for shits and giggles.
Yeah, well, it'll probably take my train sim about half an hour to load in anyway.
Fair enough. Am I still pouring water in? Yeah, I am. Whoops.
So Reese, here's a question.
Oh god.
What would be a GWR engine, a pure GWR engine, not like one that was absorbed or anything?
Or the
That's
hoods were
pre-grouping that you would want in Train Sim.
That's pre-grouping?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like
Ask me.
pure pre-grouping GWR. Like Aberdare or something like that.
Ask me.
The Aberdare is certainly one that I would like to see. What's Bulldog?
Armstrong.
Dean Goods. There's another one that I'm thinking of.
I mean, those are already being made, though.
It's like the pre-runners to the panniers, the little saddle tanks, like 060 saddle tanks.
Oh, the Buffalo tanks.
Yeah. Okay, I'm about to do trainception here. For some reason, I'm going through a warehouse. Green Arrow is new. Okay, that's weird.
But yeah, Armstrong Class 7.
Okay.
They are some very pretty looking engines.
I love the 440s.
I really don't know what's happened here.
I'll stick a picture of it in general.
Okay, we're going through a warehouse.
Boosh!
Green Arrow is literally going through a warehouse because, why bother going through the actual yard when you can just go through the shed with a closed door?
Just sexually violate a freaking warehouse.
I love how the warehouse is hollow inside as well.
Suddenly, a V2 appeared. There it is. Green Arrow!
Do you know what? I'm gonna have to take this clip and stick the Pokemon battle music over it.
Suddenly a little wild Green Arrow appeared.
Diddly 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 doo.
I loved that on Game Boy. It was just the best.
Who's that Pokemon? It's Pikachu!
It's Green Arrow! Who's that Pokemon? It's Green Arrow! Whistle.
But do you know what? While Train Sim is loading in, let's see if I can do this.
Now I'm gonna be... A lot of the LNER purists are gonna hate me for this, because we're gonna do the most, obscure turns.
That image will do nicely.
I mean, it's not like you're already pulling Great Western Fish Train with a V2 already.
Hey, I didn't make this consist. This was a this was an already pre-made consist, so I'm not responsible for this one. They don't pay me to make consists, I just drive this shit. What's my boiler water level? Oh my god, there's like none.
There's a thimble of water in your boiler.
No, well, the injectors are on, so I don't understand why the water level's not going up.
Yes, this is perfect. This will do nicely.
So this makes me not want to do advanced stuff because it just makes people frustrated. Why is she not working?
Okay, Green Arrow is not a happy engine. It's oh, that is a sharp turn. Oh my god!
What?
Oh, you've got to see this in the stream. Oh my god!
Oh my!
That is not a happy.
What?
Okay, we've
Just ripping cobblestones out of the
holy
wall.
crap! I'm being pulled backwards by the weight of my my train.
Hopefully you
Oh
don't get
my
stuck. I'd go
God.
faster.
I gotta put it in full forward because it's not working. There
What
we
the
go.
heck?
Come on.
I think you're stuck.
I don't think it's gonna make it. Come on. More steam.
For what steam you got left.
Oh, I got plenty of steam. I just got no water in the boiler. Full reg. Come on. My god, it doesn't want to do it.
I think your engine's too long for that curve.
I think you're right.
I think in correct vernacular, you have what we know as fucked it.
I think I have properly fucked this Green Arrow. She has suffered an awful lot today, hasn't she?
You gotta feel for it.
Let's put her in reverse. Let's have a run up at this corner, because I didn't exactly have a run up.
Then you just fly into the sky above the mountain again like you do with the pug.
With the pug, yeah. She just let off this massive cloud of steam in, like, protest, going, nope, I've just had enough. I've had enough of your bullshit, Reese. Nope. I think she's actually well and truly dead. Oh no, she's
No,
going.
she's
We got power. We got life. Come on. Why are you going forwards? You're in reverse gear. Okay, she is actually screwed.
Just put the super pug on the front. It'll be fine.
She's really not a happy engine today.
I wonder why.
Oh my god.
You got the cylinder cocks open?
Yeah.
That's because you fucked the engine up.
Try closing them.
No, it didn't work earlier when I tried it. Come on. Come on.
Right, hopefully I'll have this done by the time you actually finish the scenario.
Oh, I'm gutted now that we're gonna end this bit here. Like,
You didn't even get to crash it or blow it up or anything.
I know.
You just gave it an undignified end flopping around on a tight curve.
I'm gonna have to uncouple this freight train from behind to see if that helps. Let's go forward and see if that does anything.
I should take up art. This is magnificent art.
Go on. Nope.
Right.
Okay, so I don't think she's gonna go. Nope. I've craned it. That's it. We killed her. Literally killed her.
You've just left her flopping around on a dockside.
Yeah. Alright, well, we'll have to go and make several apologies. I'm not even coupled up to this freight anymore. Actually, I'm not going to quit just yet. I gotta try it again.
He's in denial.
Yeah. See, this wouldn't have happened if you'd have taken an LMS loco and were a competent
Exactly.
driver and hadn't tried to get a what 26? Is it a 262?
It is a
Around
262. Come
yeah.
on, come on, come on, come on. Nope, she's not going to do it. There's no way she's going to do it.
Right, where's Angry Welshman Productions? Let's stick this in the Facebook group.
Go on, full ahead backwards. Full ahead forwards.
I can't remember the term when an engine gets stuck on a curve like that. I don't remember the name of that.
Just run aground.
Yeah.
Come on, come on. If I could move the reverser quicker, I think it would work. I'd be able to shift it out.
Use the F4 head?
Actually, that's... Let me try it. Buff. Oh, that might actually work. Full reverse. Perhaps full ahead. And full reverse. No. Nope.
Right, and for everyone in the Discord, I guess I'll stick it in general.
No. She is not going to move. So, I'm very sorry, National Railway Museum. I've killed your V2. That's what you get for not having adequate representation of the Great Western in the National Collection. So I don't feel bad for that at all, actually. So we killed Green Arrow. Let's load up the. Oh wait, hang on. I was gonna do the Britannia, wasn't I? Installing workshop updates. Don't do that. Let's just load up a scenario. I'll just try out this wheel slip thing before we knock off.
Navigate route?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Right. Well, I'm going to go for a quick break and get a drink, and then I'll be back.
All
See
right.
you in a bit.
Oh, come on, Train Sim, load. There's still 67 people watching. There are 67 people watching a loading screen. Is that literally what we've come to? This is all AWP is now.
Loading screen.
I know that a lot of people are not really interested in like modern day electrics, but you know the Swiss route, the Rhaetian Railway.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that route, and I would like to see more sort of modern Swiss routes, like with rack and pinion, the mountain railways, because they just, if they could improve the scenery, you know, like the long distance scenery,
Yeah.
you know, that route could be amazing. Right then, we're in the Pennoy Valley Railway again. Let's see, Just Trains Clan. Wherever it is. Just to demonstrate the going full Blue Peter on it. Where is the clan? Oh god, have I not got it installed? Don't tell me I haven't got it installed. Nope, I don't have it installed. Awesome. Well, I guess we're not doing that then. Yeah, okay. Oh well. Let's load up the Dufferin Lecky Railway. Sorry chaps watching the live stream, but you cannot see it because it's not there. I really need to get up to date with that stuff. Right, Dufferin Lecky.
Do you still have like a whole folder of stuff to install?
Well, the thing is, I had... hang on. Edit, yep. I had... I just copied my assets folder from my desktop PC, but I did it like 2 years ago when I first got the laptop.
Alright.
So what I should do is merge them both together again, just to sort of like keep them more up to date with each other. That's the annoying thing about having Train Sim on 2 different units. Like, the whole idea of Steam is great, that it keeps everything up to date with each other, but it only works for stuff that you get on Steam.
Right.
Oh, Nathan says it's Steam Devs folder, not JT. Damn it. That sucks. I was looking at the wrong folder. Darn.
In the yard.
What time is it where you are?
It's 4 o'clock, but I haven't slept in like 24 hours.
Oh, God.
So
More
I'm an
caffeine.
insomniac.
More caffeine. All you need is caffeine. Or cocaine. One or the other.
Both.
Both caffeine and cocaine.
Cocaine, caffeine laced cocaine.
Yes. I'll have some caffeine with my cocaine today, sir. Very good.
Hello,
decision.
am I speaking to Mr. Rice Davis? This is Kevin from Tech Support from Microsoft. How are you doing today?
Shut up, Guion.
It's Guion.
Literally, you could not have fooled me even if you tried.
Cocaine.
I can tell another Taft's accent from a mile away. How you doing anyway, Guion? Welcome to the live stream. I killed a V2.
Yeah.
That's putting it politely. I think
I-
massacred a V2 would be a more appropriate description.
Ooh, there is a lot more scenery, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
Beautiful. Okay, so where's me loco? There. I'm gonna get rid of
wow,
all
that-
these coaches.
That came out a lot more Welsh than I expected.
Get rid of me loco.
If you don't mind driving sort of an older loco, you could try out either one of the Talon locos.
No, I'm just gonna drive like this loco, but with like loads less wagons.
Oh, mine
Put
have-
teaks on the back.
Yeah, actual teaks. Might put the gravity train up the top end. Yeah.
Stick it just at the top of one of the inclines.
Oh, that's gonna be bad.
Imagine if Romney Heights and Dymchurch was on this railway.
Oh, that'd be beautiful.
We need 15-inch gauge in Train Sim.
I don't think it would work though.
Of course it would.
Do narrow gauge, but
TS's physics wouldn't like.
Yeah, well-
You'd have to make it
You can
really
always-
overpowerful or really retarded.
No, it would work.
I don't know. I mean, Ravenglass and Esther Railway, like for the whole fire inside of it and that, they literally fill up their engines at one end of the line and hardly touch them until the other end. So,
Yeah, but you know Train Sim.
You
well,
can make
Train
it
Sim's
work.
just a
Is
pain.
there- oh, there's
but-
no consist for the what's it called? There's
Gravity train.
Yeah, there's no consist for the gravity train.
Whack, 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 whack.
Right. Well, I'm starting at the engine shed and I'm going to go to the docks and pick up some stuff.
Well, that's actually what I was going to do as well. I wanted to put a gravity train down. Okay, I might just make it myself then. Chorus, gravity run. We're
But
gonna
yeah, it's basically finished. The town where the engine shed is, all that area is completely done. I think everything now except for the quarry itself is finished.
There should be a gravity train consist. There is one in the quick drive.
I don't think we've put anywhere near enough braking vehicles on.
I can tell you for a fact, no matter how many braking vehicles you put on, it will not make a single difference.
Right, let's put the driver icon. Oh,
Train Sim,
which one is the driving one?
what, the wagon or?
Oh, gravity run wagon. Okay, yeah, I found it.
But yeah, Train Sim physically cannot handle the changing gradient.
No, it's not gonna work. I know. Let's put.
But he's going to let us show the people. I'm intrigued, actually. I haven't seen this.
Let's see what happens. I know it's not going to work, but...
Also, it might be worth putting an engine up there to push it to the edge in case you can't
Oh my
reach it
God!
yourself.
This is going bad. Oh! This is awesome! Please work, please work, please work. Oh, well that was a real disappointment.
Instant derailment.
If someone can modify Train Sim, that would just be... To make this work, would be so beautiful.
I'm still waiting
It
for the
would.
actual video footage. No, it's
Yep,
happening.
there you go.
Oh, it's a good
what
roller
happens-
coaster ride.
I think what happens is the gradient changes so quickly, like Train Sim thinks it's derailed.
Yeah, probably.
Like
If there's any
consistent.
way to overcome that, that would be amazing.
It might work with like one wagon.
I'm going to try it with one wagon just to see, but I don't think it will.
You'd probably have
Probably
to
not,
touch
but-
the brakes really good until you actually get on the hill.
If you try driving up the hill, what actually happens is you actually glitch out and then end up sort of slowly travelling up the hill. That's something that's pretty interesting to do. Right. Where did I leave my wagons? Over that ways. Them's are the wagons I am wanting.
Right, edit scenario.
Ugh.
We've been going for like 3 hours.
Have you now?
Yeah, it'll be nice when we get some more stock to use on the Navigage stuff.
My 3D printer is just finished.
Mm.
What in the back?
We'll have a little look around the docks as we go. Consist, Chorus Railway. Is it worth driving any of these little diesels or no?
Meh.
They're okay, but I don't know how they'd handle on the hills. I can't remember, but will a bigger diesel? You have to drive it in a certain way, like you can stall the engine.
Oh wow.
And I think to start it, you have to like hand crank it or something.
No, I want 200. I just put in my hot end temperature of 5,200 degrees Celsius. Yeah, that's not going to work.
Yeah, it's close enough, right?
I only went at 200. I mean, the hot hand will melt before it even gets over like 500 probably.
Made narrow gauge.
Don't stick every lamp on, it's not a royal train.
It is. This is a royal train. This is. I'm hauling the Queen. She's sitting on those cement bags.
You could probably, if you got someone to make you an asset of the Queen, you could stick it, you could actually do that.
What, Queen Lizzie?
You could, if someone makes,
It'll be a
Oh,
lizard
figure.
with a tiara.
someone make a figure of her sitting down and we'll stick her on top of the cement. But
Excellent. The Chorus Railway Royal Train. I bet I've pulled too many wagons again.
well, you can always ditch them if you have.
This is a
Yeah,
nice little route.
Have a good look round the scenery. I mean, when you get into the town itself, when you get to the platform, actually have a stop and look round the town, because it's
gonna say
just
that The
incredible.
docks is kind of lacking some form of ships.
Yeah, it's because this is again the
Spaceship.
Steam version.
Oh,
So
yeah,
there's
you
not,
can't have
and
any
because it's
ships.
1930s, there's not much you can actually add.
Yeah, that's
So he's
oh
planning
God,
on
I'm about to
doing-
split the points.
Um,
Oh, it did actually snap to the correct position.
yeah, they should do that with the demo gauge ones.
Not all
Yeah,
of
we
them
have-
do, but
Yeah,
I'm glad that these ones do.
There's a lot
Yeah,
of lack of
yeah,
business going on there.
We are planning on doing a update using freeware assets to add things like the ships and a few bits and bobs, and I'm going to do a few reskins to come up with a custom paint scheme for all the stations.
Great
and...
Western.
No,
Yes.
it's a
It's
privately
Great
owned
Western.
railway.
I like that
Oh,
there's a canal
alright.
barge that's towing a skip. That's a genius use of assets there. To simulate a barge, you've actually used a skip. That's actually really quite a clever idea.
I like the seawall there.
It does look really good, actually.
Honestly, this, in my personal opinion, and I'm biased because I've helped a bit with it, but this is the best route in Train Sim.
Wait, that's a scaled up, stretched and squashed.
Skip.
Yes, it is.
Wow, that is.
I think that is genius use
The
of
guy who
train
made
sim assets,
this-
actually.
The guy who made this is Australian and has never been to the UK. So,
I'm just
considering
twatting my
that
head on the signal
and
post.
the incredible use of the assets in it as well. I mean, if you have a look at the quarry when you get there, you'll notice that all the pulleys are actually all made out of like bits of fencing and stuff.
I've got a
He's
guy
basically-
that's floating. The signal box has disappeared. Some of my assets have disappeared.
Oh dear.
Well,
No,
I'm gonna
he's
say
basically
the signal
taken a Planet Coaster approach to it, just using all the bits to make amazing things.
Yeah, a load of my assets have disappeared. From
You are quite right, they have, because the signal box is still there on my version.
So, this has happened on the other route. I think something's happened to my train
Oh, yeah.
sim.
Chris, have a stop and have a look around the actual town.
What, this town on the left?
This town, yeah. This is the one which has over 9,000 assets in it.
It's no wonder it's...
Over 9,000!
I already said in the last time I made this video that I was going to use, like, the streets and stuff for filming. I'm most definitely going to do that. This town... Oh my god! Right, stop the train. Stop the train. It's like a main street.
Yep.
I mean, the amount of detail that's gone into this route. Oh, this is beautiful. I didn't
I
see
would
this.
recommend, every time you get to a station, I would recommend having a double take of all the scenery between the stations and the towns and stations.
Even away from the track, the scenery is there. It's highly detailed. This is just beautiful.
It's beautiful, it's true.
I am gobsmacked by the level of detail. Just simple little things, but it makes the world of difference.
Yep,
Oh my
really does.
goodness.
Honestly,
The
this is
allotment, fucking hell.
in my personal opinion, this is why I think it's the best route in Train Sim.
It's definitely the most detailed, I'll give you that. It's, oh my goodness, it's
Well,
beautiful.
it's like, if you have a look at like the pub, it's got like a little beer garden with canopies and everything.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's got it's got like hot troughs for the
I
horses.
do have to say, I think that Jared is lying. I think he has been to the UK because he's just got the atmosphere. He's got the feel.
Well, that's something I've helped him out with.
It
Maybe he's
some
just watched a
extent.
lot of British TV shows.
It feels like I'm just
But-
in some back street with loads of houses. It feels...
And again, it's limited
Local.
by the assets, but the aim is to have it sort of as much in the 1930s as possible. And I think with the assets available, it's difficult, but he's not done bad.
He's done bloody brilliantly.
Yeah,
And
all the
some
gas
parts of it
lamps
feels-
everywhere.
Yeah, it's just like bloody hell. There is so much to look at.
I mean, it is a shame that it's so asset heavy that it does affect the performance. But that's just Train Simulator for
it's-
you.
That, and it's the price you pay for such a highly detailed route. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
over 9,000 assets in one block is just an absolutely
Church.
insane amount of detail.
Now,
How does one acquire this?
I was actually going to make a church scene to do a burial. Oh god, I shouldn't say too much. In Over the Hills, yeah, there was going to be a burial. So now there's going to be a funeral.
Yeah.
You know, this is the sort of scenes which he's made, which I can use for filming. Just, oh, wow. I'm really loving it.
And again, the beautiful thing about this route is that no matter where you look, at whatever station you stop at, there is life around the railway. The scenery is not just around the track. The scenery is across the whole route.
I mean,
Zooming out.
this is what Steam content should be looking at. If you've looked at the Swansea route, it's fucking dog shit. Swansea to Bristol on the South Wales coastal, which isn't even the fucking coastal part, is just hideous. I looked at Swansea and I was like, this doesn't even look like Swansea. The station is vaguely the right shape and everything else is just not there. Look at the size of the bloody thing! All of that! There's so much detail in there. Madness. Absolute fucking madness.
For anyone wanting details of the route, I'm sure Riss would be happy to put the link to the route download in the description of the video once it's...
I'll have to do it after, though.
Yeah.
Do it now, bitch!
Do it now!
But yeah, if you search trolley fodder on the Steam Workshop, you should find it on there, and it's the... How did you say? Is it the Dufferin Lackey or something like that?
Dufferin Lackey.
Which neither me nor trolley fodder had any idea how to pronounce. We just thought it looked pretty.
Hang on.
It looked Welsh, so...
It's Dufferin.
I think it translates to Slate Valley.
I'm going to the workshop now. I'm going to go and try and find this.
You might be able to put a link in, I don't know. Maybe.
Right.
But yeah.
Train Sim Workshop.
Riss, apparently your loco brake is on.
What's the name again?
What? Oh.
Dufferin Lackey.
Lol.
But yeah,
Can you spell that?
it's Dyffryn, I think. If you put that in, it should pop up with it.
Yeah, that's Dufferin. Dufferin, maybe? Hang on.
Dufferin, yeah. That's how I would have said it as well.
So the double F is... Yeah, Dufferin, yeah. Yeah, you've got the double F is a FUT sound, single F the VUT sound.
Well, let's see if I can make it up this hill with all these wagons on.
Dufferin, yeah. A nice little bit. Adding that. Actually, hang on. Do I have what's needed?
Something else to mention, Riss, I don't know if you've seen it in last time I did it. He's added a little sort of abandoned siding station area.
Yes,
you might want to have a look at. Yeah. Well, I think he's added a bit more detail to that and it looks properly overgrown now. So there's that there, and then of course further on you go, more stuff there is to look at. But just the trackside detail, as you're going along this track and you've got trees and flowers and bushes all around you, it feels very enclosed and it does feel very narrow gaugey.
But that's how it should feel, you know.
It does. It's got that atmosphere to it.
Yes, I've just let off a wagon.
I think you are definitely missing assets there.
Yeah, I think something's happened to my train sim. I'm gonna let off another wagon.
But yeah, see, look, he's got. If you have a look on the floor there, he's got signalling wire just next to the track.
Oh yeah.
I think he's added point rodding in wherever the signal box is as well.
This guy's fucking mental.
Yes, he is.
I'm running out of steam again. Are those wagons rolling back down the hill? Oh my god, they are.
I still don't get train sim sometimes, because that wagon's going to eventually stop, doesn't it? Just magically stop when it's so far away from the train.
Yeah, it will.
I hate
that. Steam.
That's the problem I have with this loco. I can never get it to steam properly.
See, you've just got to hope now that those wagons don't crash. Because if they crash, you'll just suddenly have the scenario end on you.
It's fine, nobody needs to know.
Light engine
But
room.
10 minutes later, he's much further along and just crashes, and I'm like, what?
To be honest, we're only here to have a look around. We don't need to take wagons with us, otherwise we'll be here all night.
I'll need to ask him if he wants to help with the calendar and open and the locked plane branch.
Yeah, can put you in touch.
I think I got him on Steam.
Yeah. I mean, you could put it in the what is it, in the blah, 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 create a studio on the Discord.
See, now I think with making a route as detailed as this, if you can get someone to make customized assets,
Oh yeah,
Jared
there's
could
no
go-
end to what you
he
could
could
do.
go into route building
Yeah.
because
Well, I was
I mean,
saying-
you got to think.
Brain.
We have paid over the years. We have paid more money for routes that are not even a quarter as detailed as this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
See,
this you
he'd
could have
like to do,
charged £15 a head for this one, and people would
Mm.
have I would have quite happily paid £15 for this route because it's a really good route.
See, there you go. If you watch this back
Oh.
at some point, business strategy.
Nathan said I could have done it with a Festiniog railway loco.
Could have done.
I didn't even think about that. Drat.
But yeah, I think he was wanting to have a look at doing the Puff and Billy Railway, but again, all his routes, well, most of his routes he's done have been fictional routes, and that's not to say he can't do real ones, but I suppose with a fictional route,
You
have a lot more creative freedom.
Yeah.
You know, with a real life route, you're trying to get everything how people have seen it and get everything perfect, whereas with a fictional route, you've got that freedom to do whatever you want with it. Oh, see, I just love the way all the tree branches are positioned and everything. You know, there's
It
somewhere
just works, doesn't it?
the tree branches are positioned in such a way as there's a bend in it, and the bend just fits the shape of the loco, so like it's higher up where the chimney is and everything. It's just beautiful.
This was the town that I really loved the last time I played this route.
Yeah, have a stop there and have a look around that town as well.
Brakes on.
What I would suggest every time you come to a platform, have a stop and have a look at the scenery around the platform and around the sort of general line side area. Because there really is something absolutely everywhere you look, and it's impossible to see it all at once. I mean, go have a look at the abandoned area.
Yeah, we've already passed that.
Fuck's sakes.
I'm gonna say go have a wander around and have a look in it. Because he's got, scrap wagons around there, and
We really need like period people more than anything in this game.
I do
We
think
do.
that Train Simulator desperately needs more people assets.
well, this route in particular, with it being set in the 1930s, what this route really needs is some 1930s assets to stick in.
Yeah.
Swap out some of the more modern ones. I mean, even
Horse
things
and
like the
cart,
houses.
novelties.
The houses with the plastic doors. Swap out them for houses with wooden
Yeah.
doors.
They've got like.
Could always reskin them, though.
PVC.
Yeah, I could reskin them.
Yeah, but that's something, I think that a route as detailed as this will get noticed. And if it's noticed by the right people, they'll say, we can see the potential that you've got and we want to do something with it.
Yeah.
And that, just getting noticed in things like this is a huge benefit.
Yeah,
Because you'll get someone who'll come along and say, hey, I make like buildings for Train Sim. I'll make you this. And then you're like, oh, okay. And then that's it.
It's
Boom.
basically what's happened with me and Steam Sound Supreme.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do think with Blast Pipe Productions, it's basically just me that does it, but it is something I'm looking for. If anyone out there on the stream is interested in making stuff for Train Sim and would like to be part of the team, get in touch, because we are looking for new people to join in and help with stuff like this. I mean, I'm planning on, like I said, reskinning a lot of station assets to create a consistent colour scheme for the whole route for this, and turn it into give it a bit more character and personality as its own heritage railway or preserved railway or even railway in the 30s.
Yeah, I mean, you could do so much with this route. The
Yep.
scope is endless, actually. It's got to be said.
And again, it's only a fairly short route, but the gradient profile of it as well makes it pretty nice to drive because it's a challenge. It's not just an easy walkabout route.
I wish Train Sim wasn't such a pain to, route build for, though.
Yeah,
It's very time consuming. The end product is
It is.
amazing.
well,
I
this
wish
route,
route.
That's one of the
This
things,
route has
the
taken
reasons why
a
I
few
stopped
years.
developing the Landia Dog and Pennyog route originally, because you can literally spend 10 years working on it and you'll be no closer to finishing it. You know.
Yeah,
You spend like 10 hours on like a half of a mile of the actual route.
Exactly. And that's one of the downsides to this whole thing, is that if you go and make a route, like look at Western Main Lines as an example,
Yeah.
you just cannot add enough scenery. Because it's, 300 miles? Actually, he's probably done more than 300 miles. Because he's done, like, what is it? London to Cardiff, and then Cardiff to Exeter, then Exeter to Plymouth, and...
Yeah, because he's got all the junctions and everything as well.
I mean that route, you could spend 20 years working on it.
The average time right now for route building is actually 5 years with a team of... It's just a team of people. 5
Yeah.
years. I mean, they've been doing the Stainmore for 8 years, I think.
And if you think about it, it kind of makes sense because, the rate at which Train Sim is sort of growing, and I think it's starting to sort of level out a bit now as we've reached the maximum potential the game can cope with. And I think
bullshit.
64-bit has helped, but,
It's too little too late. Really.
yeah,
There's
and
plenty this
it's
game
the
can give.
people as well.
It's not going to save the game, that's the sad thing. It's...
Well, what is saving the game is the third-party developers.
Well,
That is all that is
the
keeping
only
this
future
game
that
alive.
the only future that Train Sim has now is third-party content, because Dovetail Games wants to move to Train Sim World,
Which is a joke.
I mean,
Which
it could,
Train Sim World is just, it's not ready.
It had the potential. That's what pisses me off so much about it. Is it had the potential to be the best thing that was ever released for the train simming community. And if they'd have done it right, it could have been, if they had multiplayer, if they had Steam routes, if they had Steam engines, and released a platform rather than releasing just one route. That was their big fuck up, as far as I'm concerned. Because if they branded it as this huge release, as this huge new step forward in train simming, but it was just one route.
It's just Train Simulator with better graphics is essentially what it is.
And that's what pisses me off, is it could have been 10 times more.
It's not even that though, because I play it and I feel like it's a handicapped version of Train Sim. You see, the thing is I think Train Sim, to me, more or less encompasses everything I want in a Train Sim game.
It has the modelling aspect as well as the operational side.
It's not just that. There's a lot of freedom in play. There's a lot of play value in Train Sim, and I think that's a very essential part that they forgot. Train Sim World just doesn't have that. Train Sim World is an arcade experience. It's a bunch of set up, single-use experiences, and once you've exhausted those experiences, there's nowhere else to go. And again, the buck will be picked up hopefully later this year by third-party developers when the kit comes out, and I will be having a look at it, and I will try to get some stuff working with it because I would like to see that.
But I've gone into the sidings.
Because I think
that's not right. You can go back out again. You've got no train on.
If someone, I mean, the first developer to bring Steam to this game, to Train Sim World, is going to make so much from it.
If they want my
doesn't matter what it
suggestion,
is.
Which I know I'm really loudmouth when it comes to it, but release Train Sim World, Vale of Rydal Railway Pack. The whole route, all free loco. No, honestly, if you think about it...
It's just so typical of you.
I know, but still, hear me out. I know I'm pro Vale of Rydal and all that, but, release
this
that whole
paid
pack.
At all by Vale of Rydal.
There is no product placement at all. Sponsored by Doritos. I mean, but you know what I mean. Release the whole platform. You're not just releasing one route and one loco. You're releasing a whole platform.
See, the other issue is Train Sim World has been marketed as Train Sim World. Oh, Reese, before you move on, have a look around the town there.
I need to have a blow up anyway, so that's a good.
But yeah,
Although
it's
the blower is literally not working.
it's been marketed as Train Sim World, but they're still bringing out US, UK, and German content only.
Well,
Yeah, they've got
the
one
lack
French
of
route as well.
developer options. Like, you can't even build your own route. That was a major cock up. Not
It
being
just-
able
Well,
to
that's
let
what's
it.
going to happen soon. But I mean, it's a little too late.
Yeah,
It
but that's the
seems to
thing. Is
be-
it should have been part of the platform. It should.
So
It
what, is
seems
it-
to be a replacement for Train Simulator.
It's a year and a
But-
half since release now.
Yeah, it just seems to be a replacement for Train Simulator. That's just, well, that's it.
Not finished.
It's making all.
It's worse.
making
It's
all the same-
handicapped.
It's making all the same mistakes Train Simulator made, and it's, it's not even hitting the same content Train
Here's the
Simulator
problem,
made.
though. There's a lack of competition and there's a lack of voting because, well, I said voting. I mean, people vote with wallets, but it's hard. This is the sad thing. I think the sad reality about everything that exists at the moment, that let it be TV shows, video games, whatever, is people just seem to be buying it regardless of how good it is or how good we think it should be, or how bad we think it is. And it's setting the norm going forward. So we don't. It feels like we don't get a say anymore. They're making the products for people for the next generation, and the next generation want what they want, and they don't care so much for our
It
generation.
seems to be that they're making the products that they want to make rather than what their audience wants them to make.
Well, I'm not saying that. I think there is some audience that wants it because the game is selling.
Sorry, just to interrupt, Reese, watch out because there's a 5-mile-an-hour ungated crossing
Yeah,
coming up.
I just flew through it at 25 miles an hour.
You
Ah.
bastard.
I mean, to be fair, Train Sim would have died years ago if it wasn't
Reese,
for
have a look at
third-party
the tunnel.
Oh yeah, but I mean, even today, we're pushing the envelope with this game. We
Yeah,
wanna,
That is amazing.
we want to just push more and more in this game to just because so much stuff people said wasn't possible or was very difficult is now becoming a reality.
Animated shovel.
Animated
Yeah.
shovel.
Product placement. Oh my god, I'm leaning over.
Yeah,
I
it's a
mean,
mile-an-hour limit on
seeing
this.
that was something that about 3 or 4 years ago, people were like, "Oh yeah, it'd be so awesome to see that," but everyone was like, "Yeah, it's never going to happen." And
here
now
it is.
now it's happening. Okay, fair enough. It's a shovel that moves all by itself, but I think at the same time you've got to consider it like how you have the cab experience already. There is no hand operating the levers.
Yeah,
or
exactly. You
valves.
don't. When you open the reg just moves. There's no magical hand that comes out and goes, "Haha, I'm going to open your reg."
Yeah, so I think the same goes for the shovel. It's you who's controlling that shovel as such.
You're the one, or your fireman. I mean, it would be cool to have an animated fireman,
I mean, yes,
but
granted,
that
it
is going to
would.
be horrendous to animate that. I understand
Well,
that.
I wouldn't animate it from scratch to start, and the other problem is that there's extremely poor documentation on animating people. I haven't even got a single clue where to go with that.
But see,
I don't think Blender has support for it.
this is the issue with Train Sim is, yes, it's brilliant that all this new stuff is coming out and all these new features are coming out, but at the end of the day, the game itself is
Not
pretty old
changing.
now.
Yep.
The game, there's only so much you can do with it, and it's, yes, we're doing, particularly this year, a lot more has been done, to actually advance the game itself and the features of it than previous years, but it's still, the game itself has its own issues.
The thing is, where are you gonna go? Like,
Exactly.
there's no other
not an
Train Sim
alternative.
game.
I mean,
The
it's
alternative is
Trains, but
Trains.
Trains is a model railway simulator, not a train simulator.
Yes,
You
So-
can
it's a
get
toy
me to
train
play
set.
that game.
Calling it a model rail simulator is a push as well, to be honest.
It's Thomas the Tank Engine Simulator, that's what it is to me. The
It's-
only good content in that game is actually Thomas related.
I mean,
I didn't start that.
Trains has its place for more, I guess, just people that want to play trains rather than make good stuff, Which is not to sort of mock it or anything, it's just that Yeah, I think
It's a different game, and it's a different audience as well. I mean, Trains is not a. It's not really a simulator. It's not what you want if you want any sort of realistic experience. It's what you go on to. It's basically a virtual train set, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I mean, when you play Trains, you like, from a player's perspective, you feel like you have no control. You press the button, you go. That's it, and then you sit there and watch it.
It's
You don't
pretty
feel like you're in
boring.
control of the train, or
Yeah.
the world isn't like alive. Like a train sim, you don't feel like you're in control of the world. You're a part of the world.
Yeah.
Trains isn't like that.
the scenery here in this bit is just incredible.
Are you on the last leg up towards the quarry now?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, he's added all the scenery in there now, and now it's filled in. It's phenomenal. Although I still think you're missing a few assets there.
I think
It looks
I
a lot.
am.
It looks a lot barer than mine does.
I think something's happened with my train sim. I'm gonna have to verify my game cache because I installed this thing from Matt, this scenario, and it doesn't work. So, although that being said, I keep getting this message in the home menu saying that I'm installing workshop items. So I wonder if there's like something happened with this update. Maybe.
Could have done.
It could be it's a large, you know, there's so much stuff in it. A somewhat larger XML document, and you may not have a complete document. Because that's all you know, a route is at the end of the day. It's an XML document that says this asset goes here, this is here, that's there, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
It's just a document.
It's just a document
It's
with
essentially-
references.
Yeah.
It just says the coordinates of the object, the scale of the object, the rotation of the object, and
The X, Y, and Z coordinates. Yeah.
yeah, it's just stuff like that. It is over and over and over again. If you've ever opened one of these documents, they're pretty long and pretty big. But it's good like that because if it's a text file, it means it's easy to edit. You could run some scripts through it and start
I think
making
next
major
time
modifications.
next time I drive this, I'm gonna have to take something from the Festiniog Railway because this chorus logo is just balls.
Well,
Chorus
you
logo
know,
is pretty shite.
I'd recommend the you know that reskin I sent you. I sent you a reskin of Tom Rolt from La Tallalin and La Coaches.
Oh right.
And the reskin itself is absolutely horrific, but it's due to the texture layout of the thing. But it looks nice. It's what I'm currently taking. It's a very nice colour, even if I do say so myself.
Speaking of other train simulators, how long did MSTS last before it actually, you know, died?
It hasn't
It's
died.
still-
I
it's
know
not
that-
died.
I know that-
It's still
I know
going.
there's
I mean,
still people who play it, but
You
the
mean
majority of
before
people don't
Microsoft
actually play it.
put it this way, Chris. It wasn't until 2016 that I transitioned from MSTS to Train Simulator.
Well, I know that, but I mean, the majority of people don't really play that game. They play this game. So when
Yeah.
did people start like transitioning
I think
majority to this game?
in when Railworks was released, I think. Because
How long did
that
the
I would say
MSTS
migration
last?
started then.
that
I
was
don't-
2009 when Railworks was originally released.
I
'cause
think
it
a few
was
years
huge.
after though.
You got to remember that
it did
people
take a
have
while
been-
for it to catch on.
No,
Because
you
there
got to
was,
remember that people have done it like with Open Rails, for example.
There was
That's kept
so
moving.
much resistance to this to Railworks when it was first released. I
Well,
remember.
they're gonna have a lot more to Train Sim World.
I remember the wibble about using Steam, you know, as a download platform. Everyone was going, well, what if Steam shuts down? What will I do then if Steam shuts down? And then it was like,
There's probably a bunch of old men who can't read an email.
yeah, exactly. Margaret,
Yeah,
how do I open this email?
If you have a look at UKTS though and all the stuff that there is for Microsoft Train Simulator, there's still actually a fair bit of, you know, decent content coming out.
But I mean, that's the thing though. It was like, what, maybe 12 years before MSTS really kind of just died down a bit? And there's like loads of content for that game. But look at what TS is now. We're only like 10 years into this
Yeah.
We haven't even got half the
we're about
content
the
for
same
MS.
point, really, but I think the difference is, with
I think the
Trainsim,
lifetime for TS has still got a long way to go.
it's
Like, there's
still
so
got a
many
long way
routes
to
and
go.
content to be made.
It's still got a lot left, but it's all third party. That's where the
Yeah.
proper development is going.
Yeah, I don't think that Dovetail can offer a lot more with this.
Well,
However,
the thing
saying
is,
that, there are
Well, I think
opportunities for them to
even if they
extend it.
could, I don't think they're particularly interested anymore.
the thing is, they
I would
want
have said that
money.
until 64 came out, because 64-bit was very interesting. There's
Yeah,
not
but
a lot
did they do
I
that
see
for us or for them?
But what benefit is it to them?
Because if they can get more people to buy the game, they make more modern content because they care modern content is money, then, money, 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 money. Because, they care about money.
Yeah.
Really?
I've royally ruined this loco as well.
Got a new there.
But yeah, the scenery on this line is just absolutely breathtaking.
I think it's one of the most immersive routes available in Train Sim.
I wouldn't even go as far as to add the 1 in front of it. I would say it is.
Got the 2 guys ready to commit suicide.
Yeah. My loco is just... Oh my god, there's all the wagons that have been dumped into the lake.
It's not just dumped. If you go have a proper nosy around it, you'll see they've actually been... there was actually part of the wall which collapsed
Oh!
and has since been rebuilt. And
Oh,
they've just
that's
not
cool.
bothered to clear up the mess.
That's cool.
It's just little stuff like that. There's just so many details in this route. It's just... everywhere you look in the valley, if you stay in the valley, if you're anywhere in this valley, there is something incredibly interesting to look at.
What we need is quarry Hunslets.
There is one, but it's
Is that
old.
the Britomart?
Yeah, I did a
Yeah.
reskin of it. And the
You got
text-
Skylark as well, I think.
Yeah. What
But they're
we
like
need?
7F Kuju.
Yeah, we just need some reasonable quality narrow gauge stock.
gauge.
We just need some more variety to it, really. I
Can
mean,
you imagine how much I could corner the market if I made narrow gauge all of a sudden?
you'd probably hit a fair bit. But I mean, the Quarry Hunslet, we were saying this earlier, weren't we? It would be the absolute perfect narrow gauge engine to make if you were going to make one.
It's one of my
Because
favourites.
there's so much variety to it, and they were everywhere. It's such a generic loco. You could fit it on pretty much any narrow gauge route, and it'd look at home.
No, it's a very pretty logo. I do like the Quarry Hunsley. It's very nice.
It'd be really nice, more industrials like Manning Mortal and all that.
Yep, industrial. See, it's back to that. What areas of train sim haven't been hit? Industrial locos. If you're going off sort of high quality ones, we have the Mesh Tools Austerity, and then if you're going off others, there's a few freeware ones which are a bit meh. And there's James Horrocks' 16-inch Hunslet, which is good, but it's not great. And there's a few little bits and bobs with that which could be improved. But we've got 2.
I'm just so reluctant to do industrial.
Yeah, but
Because
we've
I don't
got
know
2
if
inside.
I could risk it.
We've got 2 inside cylindered Hunslet Sado tanks. And that's all we have for our industrial choice in Train Sim. Reese,
I mean, outside. not
is Reese
inside.
here? No,
Yeah,
they're both
hello,
inside
hello.
cylindered.
I'm here.
Reese, what are you doing?
I'm reversing at ultra high speed.
Oh yes, I've noticed that much.
Yeah,
but
but I've run out of steam, so I've just decided to go backwards. I'm doing a gravity train, but with one loco.
without, yeah, okay. But yeah, I think industrial and narrow gauge are 2 areas of train sim where there's the potential there route-wise, but there's just not the locos and the variety of stock to to play with. and it gets a bit boring when your only options for enjoyable engine to drive is just one loco.
I mean, the two main problems for me doing like industrial or narrow gauge is one, it would be sounds because there isn't much, so you kind of have to make do with what you can get, and then would it really be profitable? Like
Yeah.
Well,
money's
that's the
not
problem. Is you
important.
would have
See,
to commit to
it's
building
okay.
not only the locos and the stock, but you would have to do what Skyhook Games did and make the route to go with it.
Well,
Yeah.
not
And again, it's
necessarily. There
okay
is, there are
but-
routes available for it. You've got
Well,
cars.
not for narrow gauge. Narrow gauge is a
Like-
bit more niche.
Look at James
It is,
Horrocks. He's
but-
making the Talyllyn Railway, but he's doing the locos. He's doing everything. So it's not just going to be like one thing. It's going to be the whole pack.
But again, it's like this route here. I mean, people are happy to make, the places to run them, but it's having the variety to run. I mean, if you've only got Locoris Loco and a few wagons and carriages to run, you're not really going to want to make routes because it gets a bit boring running exactly the same thing all the time.
Hey, it's a bit like the chicken and the egg. Would you rather have?
Well, you got to do both at the same time.
Would you rather make a loco? Well, I can't make routes. I wouldn't even know where to start.
Hmm.
I don't really want to invest 5 years into making a route just to sell some, a few bits and bobs of loco stock.
Yeah.
The thing
So
which
it's-
I can see happening soon, and it may already be in progress, is that instead of doing like the Talyllyn Railway route, I'm going to use James Horrocks as an example here. If he wanted to sort of maximise his profit making, make the route, sell it for like, I don't know, £25 as most routes sort of go for, but then sell all the locos and stock separately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that,
But
I mean,
as
the
you
way
said,
I-
that is
is-
risky because you can either do really well and make a load of money, or it can go the other way and everybody's going to hate your guts.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get boycotted in this kind of thing quite a
Yeah,
lot. Unfortunately,
exactly.
we have a lot of shares in this hobby.
Yeah.
ATS is like one of the worst
Well,
communities.
It is.
I don't know. There's some worse ones out there.
Yeah, but it's not a good one. I mean, it splits into sort of a few categories of people, doesn't it? You have the people who know. It's the same with the railway enthusiasts hobby as a whole. You have the people who do the actual work, the creation, who actually know how much hard work goes into it. You have the people who are good friends with them, who know and understand it,
Like
and
me.
then you have people who just want to play. But appreciate, the work. And then you have people who don't appreciate the work that goes into it. And it's just them people which... I don't know, they make it difficult.
And then you get the other worst people who
happy.
do know the work. You
Yeah,
get the other worst people who do know the work that goes into it but don't care, and they're just dickheads.
yeah. It's a difficult community to work with, but... I mean, anyway, I think there's still potential out there, there's still good stuff going on, but
Oh,
again, if you're a developer, you've got to look at really, I mean, for the amount of time, money and effort you invest into making an add-on, you've got to look at whether it's going to be worth it. I mean, like you were saying, it'd be brilliant to have some more narrow gauge stuff, but if you make any more narrow gauge stuff, are people actually going to buy it? I mean, this route is incredible, but 9,000 assets in one block, a lot of people who have train sim aren't going to be able to run that.
I mean, the thing is, I'll use an example. The long boiler I made. You know how people have been crying out for like really early locomotives,
Yep.
And then I went out of my way, made a long boiler, and sold like piss. It didn't make anything.
Yeah.
People cried out for it. They loved it, but I kind of got burnt on that one.
Unfortunately, I think you've got to understand it's very difficult with these things because you have what is the vocal minority and the vocal minority can sometimes dictate how things go, and that may not always be the correct way, which you
Does anyone know what the big boys
The long
tender was
one.
called?
big ass.
No
Tender.
idea.
Should put an 8F tender on it.
Do you think I can put a BR standard tender on it? Oh my god, I can. Black 5 tender. That is the worst looking train I've ever seen in Train Sim. Oh my god.
Need to make it double.
I couldn't find the Union Pacific tender for it, so I've just put a Black 5 tender.
God.
Oh, that is... Oh my god, that is just horrendous.
You've created an abomination.
I have created a monster.
I mean, crikey, the footplate crew will be standing in the tender in the coast space rather than on the actual.
Oh, the cab's still huge.
It's
That's
like
the
when
thing
you
with
go.
America. They like their big cabs.
It's like a really big penis and tiny balls.
Oh my god, this is just the
Look
worst
at the
thing.
loading gauge America had.
I mean,
America, why are you so fat?
when even the trains in America have diabetes.
I mean, yeah, look at the cab in there. That's like a fucking house.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
whistle on this thing is just AIDS.
going back to the content thing. I mean, if you're going for industrial locos and going for navigate, if you're a developer, you want to hit something that people are going to buy. So I think you get people crying for a lot of stuff, but it's no good if they're not all going to actually buy it. So I think, as a
That just
consumer,
retarded.
as a
This is the
consumer, I
most
think it's
weird thing
know.
I've ever done.
I'm watching it. It's just What the hell?
yeah.
You've got
I mean,
this
Chris,
massively
you playing
oversized engine and this tiny tender on really tiny.
You were saying about Manning Wardles, weren't you, Chris?
Yeah,
I mean,
because
this
I
is
do
the
plan on
outright
making
Like
the
Suburban.
Prisoner of Manning Wardle.
Sir Berkeley.
Oh my god.
Yes.
See, for that you hit Victorian and pre-grouping, and you hit industrial, so it might be a good idea to do, but then it's, like you said, it's getting the sounds for it as well, and getting all the references you need to actually make
It is
thing.
running.
Isn't Sir Berkeley out of ticket at the moment? I think it's undergoing this.
It was just running last weekend.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a different one?
It's the green one with the red rods and the cool looking cab.
Yeah. Let's have a look at Leeds Middleton.
I mean, to be honest, use the example with the Caledonian engines. The Western Lines of Scotland is a Caledonian route, and you didn't have any prototypical Scottish engines beside a Black 5 on that route until I started making Caledonian stuff.
Yeah.
Now, Western Lines of Scotland is actually interesting because you've got more immersive route now.
Yeah.
So if you're going to make content, you got to make stuff that's all ready for the route. Or
It's about having that mix, isn't it? Again, it's like you said, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? It's that case of, if you're making locos, you need, one, stock to run the locos with, and two, good locations to run the locos. But if you're making locos, then you also want to fit the existing market. So
I mean, as you start building more and more prototypical things, like I know DTG are making a Scottish route again, a steam air Scottish route, which is Carlisle to Edinburgh. You know, that opens a door again. So as you develop for one route, people start making other routes, and then you can start developing for those routes.
yeah. For everyone in Discord, I'm going to put a picture in lovely locos of good old Sir Berkeley. So if you're in Discord, go over and have a look at that and let us all know what you actually think of the beautiful little beast.
It's
Yeah,
such
I mean,
a pretty engine.
It's a really nice engine. I
I really
love
like the blue one as well.
I think the blue one's Matthew Merry. I'll have a quick look.
It's gonna hit the
It
bridge.
Oh my god.
No. It's Sharpthorn. There you go.
Big boy's upside down.
Oh dear, what the hell did you
Sharp
do?
form.
That went well.
Yeah, see, I
Nice.
were thinking of. Oh my
Did you
god.
open the
Riz.
reg?
I did, yes.
Well done.
That went well. Just thinking of something to do just to mess around for a couple of minutes more. I think I'll go to 11.
Dunk.
But yeah,
Yarp.
I'll put this on here.
Narp.
Matthew Memmy is the one that has the full cab. But again, looking at those 3 locos, you've got different buffer variants, you've got different cab variants. So you've already got, for one loco with a few different bits and bobs, you could create quite a lot of.
You could do multiple
You know.
packs for
Yeah.
different types of manning wardle tanks.
Something I've
See,
just...
that's something I'd like to see, because it's an interesting design of loco. And it fits the industrial bill, and it'd fit the pre-grouping bill as well.
I just realised something, Chris.
Hmm.
I don't think your locos have ever been put to the test on the roller coaster.
I did find someone who took a pug on the roller coaster, and it was terrible, mainly because they just couldn't drive it. But I have not seen anything really on the roller coaster route.
But yeah, personal wish list for me for train sim add-ons: industrial locos and narrow gauge locos. I think that's where the biggest gaps are for train sim at the moment,
Oh god.
for UK wise.
Train sim just
You know what?
died.
He just loaded in the roller coaster route.
Yeah, my train sim just died.
You know what's a third really niche market it would be really cool to see in train sim? Broad gauge.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
proper GWR, Riviera, broad gauge.
That stuff.
Oh god.
Reese, I think it's completely died. The stream's gone black.
My laptop has just gone mad. I can't do anything.
Wah, 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 wah.
Well, I think that concludes the stream, then.
When did broad gauge catch on or go out of
Was
I
it
think it went out
1892?
popularity?
It went out of fashion at just about the point where Brunel realised that the rest of the country was in a different gauge to his, and it made an absolute mess whenever you had any sort of interchange.
We have transfer yards and everything.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Riviera line in like 1885 in the middle of broad gauge,
Yes.
taking the Iron Duke at like 8